Just seen a fantastic stat as well, which bodes well for this one, if you're a Leeds fan anyway, because Leeds United have scored more goals than anyone else in the opening 15 minutes of games, and Ipswich Town have conceded the most. Leeds fans, maybe that bodes very well. The teams are in the tunnels on their way out to a raucous atmosphere at Elland Road. A chance for Leeds to close the gap on the top two, or Ipswich to further cement themselves for automatic promotion. A big 3 points at stake at Elland Road. Sit back and enjoy in the company of former Leeds United manager Neil Redfern and your match commentator Mark Wilson.
Cheers, Faye. Two teams out on the field here. You can barely hear yourself think at Elland Road, and you can sense around this ground that the fans have come today knowing that they've got a bigger part to play off the field as the players have on it. Leeds are unchanged from that draw with Coventry last week as Mellier's in goal, Gray Road on Strout and Spence at the back, Ampadu and Kamara holding, with James Peru, Somerville behind Jorginho, Rutter up top. There are a couple of changes for Leeds on the bench, where Firpo and Poveda come in. Ayling is out of the side and Jayden Anthony is ill. For Kieran McKenna's side, well, what a trio of games they've had and got to come, because they played in the East Anglian derby last week where they got a point against Norwich and they entertained Leicester on Boxing Day. They make one change from the draw last week. Axel Twanzebe in for Luke Wolfenden. It's Latke in goal, Clark, Twanzebe, Burgess and the former Leeds boy Leif Davis at the back. Morsey and Luongo in the middle, with Burns, Chaplin and Broadhead behind Hurst, who starts up top. Leeds in their all-white strip. It's the all-bright orange of Ipswich Town, their change strip. Neil Redfern, this is what it's all about, isn't it? A huge game here today, and the crowd are right up for this one. Not a ticket to be had anywhere in this crowd. And the feeling, for so long this place was a hindrance, wasn't it, to Leeds? The atmosphere around the ground almost held the players back. Now they are the 12th man.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, Mark, and I think that Daniel Farke's got to take a lot of credit for that. You know, he's turned the fortunes of Leeds United around. It was all doom and gloom at the end of the season, relegated from the Premier League. You know, but they found a new way of playing. They brought new players in. They've bonded the team. You know, they're in a really good place at this moment in time, and the people of Leeds are believing it. You've only got to look at the stands today. They're full. There's not a seat to be had. So, but it's a tough game for Leeds today against this Ipswich side that have had a fantastic season. Got a really bright young manager. Top players as well in there amongst it. You know, some really talented players. Interested to see Nathan Broadhead come from the left. We know his ability on the ball, and we know he's got an eye for goal. Connor Chaplin again, who supports George Hurst up top. These are really gifted players that can open teams up at a whim. So something's got to give today, so I'm really looking forward to this unfolding.
It is the start of a huge festive period on the Talksport network. Right now over on Talksport, West Ham looking to bounce back from midweek cup disappointment, take on Manchester United. Reshman Chowdhury, Sam Adderface and the former England man Stuart Pearce, our commentary team for that one. Later on, Faye, who's down at Luton this afternoon. Luton taking on Newcastle United. Only place you'll hear on National Radio, live right here on Talksport 2. Nigel Adley and Perry Groves will be bringing you all the action. And then we move on to Boxing Day. 8 live commentaries across the Talksport network. If you've not got the Talksport app, then now might be a very good time to get it. Free and available in all the usual places. There are some games from the Premier League. We've got all the Boxing Day fixtures. Boxing Day the 27th and the 28th, all live and exclusive on the Talksport network. A couple of those will be on the app only. And of course, throwing a bit of live boxing tonight. We've got live darts at the PDC World Darts Championship. Then where else would you rather be spending your Christmas than with us here on Talksport? Elland Road is packed to the rafters. The players are out on the field. We're seconds away from a start. It's third against second. We've got a night of big-time boxing to come on Talksport, but there might be a knockout blow about to be landed in the race for the Premier League. Can Ipswich Town cause an upset here? The team in second, and open up the gap over Leeds to 13 points. Leeds defending the cop end here, away to our left. Illan Meslier all in his light green strip, has an early touch as Leeds have it, but Ipswich are pressing high up the field, and Morsey will collect the ball just inside the Leeds half. He plays it forward. Chaplin couldn't take it in, and the break was almost on. It might still be on. Here's Rutter now, plays it out wide. Dan James, I think he's going to be flagged offside. That ball needed to go a little bit sooner, but Leeds showing their prowess inside 30 seconds, looking to break on Ipswich Town.
Yeah, and that's where Leeds are at their real strongest, Mark, to be honest with you. In transition, you know, it's a loose ball that Leeds pick up on. It's Rutter that gets the ball, slides it through to James. He's just got hold of his run. He's looking along the line. And to be fair, I think he's maybe just offside. But a good start by both sides. Ipswich looking to press, like you say.
Ball forward flicked on by Hurst. It's a good header, but Chaplin is beaten to it by the Leeds captain, Pascal Strout. And the ball pumped forward back into Leeds half, and Hurst is having a bit of a battle with Strout, and the ball eventually falls to Leeds, and they'll work it back to Meslier, who's in his 6-yard box, and he's going to be chased down. He's not going to be allowed to have time to pass the ball where he wants. Here's Archie Gray, the young teenage prodigy of good stock out of the Gray family. Such an illustrious history here at Leeds, as Twanzebe wins a powerful header, just his 5th start for Ipswich this afternoon. And the ball is headed out for a throw-in. Kieran McKenna on the pitch side, hands in pockets, got the puffer jacket on. Daniel Farker with his now trademark long black jacket. Been here and seen and done it all in the Championship, of course, Daniel Farker. Can he get another promotion on his CV? Rodon has it, goes back to Meslier. And it's been a high-tempo start, Neil. Nothing asked, nothing given so far.
No, absolutely. I mean, I like the look of Ipswich when they press. They've really made a feature of pressing down this left-hand side with Leif Davis up against Archie Gray. They know the threat he poses from full-back. Yeah, but all over the pitch, they've got good energy.
They do indeed. Here is Joe Rodon, Welsh international, gets it out to Archie Gray, who's operating at right back at the moment. Here's Dan James, right-hand touchline side, and he's off, and he's running at Davis, puts in an early ball. Will it fall here? It almost did fall at the far post for Somerville. It's chested down and hoofed away. Anywhere will do there for Nathan Broadhead. And that was like a kick for touch in the rugby, and he finds touch just over the halfway line.
Yeah, that's going to be a good test, that. A good battle between Dan James and Leif Davis. Obviously blistering pace, Dan James, but Leif Davis is no slouch.
Throwing for Archie Gray. Down below us, just working his way up the touchline. Feeds it into Georgina Rutter. And now ball played forward, and it'll be another throw-in. Kieran McKenna just lets the ball run underneath his boot and into the back of the dugout here. 0-0 if you've just joined us, just approaching 3 gone. You're live on Talksport 2. Mark Wilson with the former Leeds boss Neil Redfern here at Ellen Road. Huge game, huge period in the Championship promotion race. Leicester will be looking and listening on, I'm sure, to see what happens here, as Meslier almost had a heavy touch there, and George Hurst just for a second was interested. And now Rodon will give it back to Meslier, who finally has a little bit of time to find a pass to Strouk on that far side, and he'll work it across to Jed Spence. No Sam Byram at the moment for Leeds, so they're having to make do without him, and that means Gray and Spence are the fullbacks. The rain just blowing across the field as we look down from our vantage point here, and the ball to James couldn't be taken in, and Ipswich have it back inside their own half.
Yeah, I mean, I just look at both managers. I think Kieran McKenna will be the happier of the two at the moment, because this press really is working. The Leeds have had 1 or 2 moments where they brought forward and had little flurries, but by and large, Ipswich have pressed the life out of them.
Yeah, well, Halatki just tried to play it forward there into the middle of the field. Ampadu won the ball, and Ipswich were a little bit rushed and have given the ball away. Leeds have it back on halfway, and it is like a boxing match at the moment. They're both getting behind their jabs and trying to find the weakness of their opponent early doors.
Yeah, if you look at Ipswich's shape as well, it's inside Leeds United's shape, so there's nowhere to go centrally for Leeds. So everything they do goes wide, it's predictable. And as soon as it goes wide, they jump all over that wide ball, Ipswich, like they've just done now.
Yeah, Strout's pass was intercepted. Morsey collects it inside his own half, tries to feed it forward here for Broadhead, who does well. He plays the ball out wide on the right. Leeds were looking for offside. Early ball into the area, and Rodon did really well. He had Hurst breathing down his neck, but here's Leif Davis. He will play it into the edge of the area. Little turn from Broadhead, who's dispossessed again by Rodon. 2 really good bits of defending from the Spurs loanee there, and he sets James away down the left, and James races up to halfway, where Luongo's happy to knock him in the touch.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic start to the game. We're seeing the traits of both sides in attack. You know, Leeds in transition, Ipswich building. Fantastic ball across the box there by Wes Burns. Could be somebody on the end of that.
0-0 here at Ellen Road. Gray with a throw in front of the Leeds dugout. Rutter will come short, tries to knock it down the line. They will knock it down the line, and it's hammered clear there over on the far side by Burgess. It'll bounce once, and a real wrestling match between Hurst and Rodon, and Rodon happy just to knock the ball away, and it's a throw into Ipswich Town, and Kieran McKenna this time will catch the ball because it's a throw in for Ipswich, and they'll hand it to Leif Davis.
He's done well with a couple of them already, George Hurst, where he just got his body in, he's waiting for the bounce of the ball, the Leeds centre-back's under it, whether it's Strike or Rodon. He's backed in and he's been aggressive with it.
Yeah, can't get on the end of that though. Kamara nicks the ball away. Strike will try and find Somerville, who's beaten to it by Harry Clark, and Clark will knock it back to Hladky, who's in a slate grey goalkeeping trip with the luminous green trim on it. He's right down the other end in front of the Norman Hunter stand here. 0-0. Ball coming forward now with Burgess. Burgess rolls it out to Leif Davis, and instantly Dan James and Rutter are trying to close him down. They'll go to Twanzebe. He'll wander up towards the edge of the centre circle, and he feeds it out wide now on the far side. And forward come Ipswich Town, just waiting, trying to draw Leeds out, and Leeds happy just to sit in shape. Now the crossfield switch is on for Davis, and that's a great ball. Davis will get it. Dumidazoyu is going to drive into the penalty area, but instead he'll hold his position. He goes past Gray, looks for the give and go edge of the area, but the pass wasn't the best to Broadhead, who has to go back, and Ipswich retained possession just on the Leeds side of halfway. Twanzebe has a touch. Oh, that was a risky pass. Strout challenges there. Chaplin went down looking for a cheap free kick, and the referee waves it away. And now Somerville is driving forward into the edge of the area. Got Jed Spence on the overlap. Spence tries to pull it back. It's behind for a corner. I think Connor Chaplin's going to have to be a bit stronger than that. The referee not interested in whatsoever, and Leeds quick on the break of a corner.
Yeah, poor decision from the referee for me. It's a foul. But they get away with it, and he's got to be stronger, like you say. But that's where you see Leeds at the best. As soon as he goes out to Somerville, he's in and around that Ipswich box before you can know it.
Well, Somerville's going to swing in the corner. See the corner flag where he is, almost bent over due to the wind. Whips in a great ball, free-headed Perrault, and it's turned in on the line. Ipswich are appealing for a foul. The whistle doesn't come. Pascal Strouk it is who's turned it in. Perrault's header was saved by Hladky, but Leeds lead. It's another early goal. 8 minutes gone. Leeds 1, Ipswich 0.
Well, it's all about the delivery from the set play. It's an in-swinging corner, and it goes right into the 6-yard box. It's the goalkeeper's territory. It's headed down by Rodon, half a save by Hladky, and it drops for Pascal Stroik, and he makes no mistake from about a yard. Great delivery and fantastic finish.
It's Perrault's header, and it's at Hladky. He's in the middle of the goal, Neil. He just can't push it anywhere, can he? And he pushes it straight to Strouk, who on the line, Johnny on the spot, turns it in, and Leeds, as Faye Carruthers said, most goals in the opening 15 minutes. They've got another one here. Yeah,
and to be, it's a difficult one for Ipswich, because they'll maybe argue with the fact that it could have been a free kick earlier. But as it is, Leeds have got the advantage. Great start for them.
Well, I'm not sure I can call you a neutral, but for the neutrals here today and listening at home, I think that is the perfect start to this game now, because it means that Ipswich have got to come out and chase the game somewhat. Leeds in front by 1-0. And Ellen Road is buoyant here. Is it going to be an early Christmas present of 3 points? Long way to go yet. And Kieran McKenna's side have got to come up with some answers. It was a set piece that undid them, and now they've passed it out. And we mentioned for all the Ipswich pressing, Leeds are pressing pretty well as well. They force a couple of times Clark to pass the ball out on the far side into touch. Yeah,
Rutter there, that is something that he does ever so well. His energy across the front line occupies the defenders, and he gives Leeds a real advantage on that front line press.
Ball out over on the far side. Leeds have got a throw in midway inside their own half. They lead by 1-0, almost 10 minutes on the clock here. Well, Kieran McKenna's side don't keep too many clean sheets themselves on the road. They've got a great record, only one defeat for them on their travels, only one defeat at home, and that came against Leeds earlier in the season. So Leeds looking for the double, and when you actually look at the league table, as Mellier's played a shocking pass out to Gray, that's gone out for a throw in. You think the fact that Leeds have beaten Leicester and Ipswich away from home, and yet are still double-figure points behind them, it shows how well and how consistent Ipswich and Leicester have been in all the other games.
Yeah, I think that's the word, Mark, consistency. And that's what you've got to be in the Championship, because at some point you're going to have a little bit of a sticky patch. All the sides are capable of getting results on the day.
Ball played forward, he's looking for Broadhead, it's too deep. And Rodon will come across and just watches it skip away off that slick surface that Neil mentioned ahead of kick-off here. The wind and rain are swirling around here, but it's not too cold actually. It's quite a pleasant day for the 23rd of December, and here on Talksport 2 it's Leeds 1, Ipswich 0. Meslier has it at the back, and Ipswich are setting a trap for him, but he eventually knocks it long to James, who wins the header, finds Pirot, who finds Rutter, who tried to turn, but he's closed down by Massimo Luongo. Here's Morsey instantly under pressure from Kamara, like a Yorkshire Terrier biting at the ankles of Morsey, who has to go backwards. And the fans enjoyed that little bit of play from Kamara, and they'll have to go all the way back to Hladky, who has it, and he'll play out now with Tuanzebe over on the far side. This, Neil Redfern, is a proper game of football.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what the Championship's all about.
Here now on the half turn is Broadhead. Infield, goes over to the right-hand side. Burns has it. Chaplin and Hurst wait in the middle of the penalty area. Leif Davis is right up there as well on this near side. Can they get an opening? No, they can't. And now Somerville skips towards the middle of the field, and he's looking to get Dan James away, and that's a great ball over the top. Hladky's come racing out of his penalty area, and in the end he does really well. He passes it to Leif Davis. That was smart play from the keeper there, but Leeds again showing their threat on the counter-attack, and if that ball had been a little bit nearer Dan James, Hladky could have been in trouble there.
Yeah, that's the main feature of Leeds' play. You know, whether Ipswich deny him centrally or not, in wide areas, they've got blistering pace in Dan James and Somerville. You know, they've got to keep trying to get the ball out there if they can.
Yeah, here now is Luongo, back to Tuanzebe. He will just feed it to Morsey. Again, Kamara closes him down, forces Morsey to move it on quickly. Here's Leif Davis. His pass is misplaced. Kamara's going to tidy that up. Finds Pirot, then finds Somerville in the centre circle. Tries to turn it for Rutter. Just sold him short, and Burns did really well to nick it away. And then a risky back pass there momentarily from Burgess. Just managed to feed out Pirot, and a risky pass again as Rutter was closing in. Leeds are going in for the kill here, but this time the referee does blow the whistle. It is a foul by Ampadu, and if it hadn't have been a foul, Leeds were in on goal. Ipswich chanting their arm there, backing their skill. They got a little bit of fortune along the way.
Yeah, just nitpicking a little bit here. He didn't need to make that challenge there, Ampadu, because they were stuck there, Ipswich. There were nowhere to go. He just lets him off the hook by committing the foul.
Here's Davis, who's wandered past James and then fancies a foot race with Gray. He might well have won that foot race, but Joe Rodon was on the cover, and he finds a ball to Pirot. And now here's Dan James. James down the right-hand side. He's racing towards the penalty area, Dan James. He's going to go alone. He has the shot, and he drills it wide at the near post. Hladky had it covered anyway, but it was worth the effort from Dan James. If there has been a criticism of him, it hasn't been that he doesn't shoot confidently enough, but he's got 7 so far this year, and Neil Redfern, there was only one thing in his mind there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that opportunity was created by limited touches, 1 and 2 touches, to play and cut hole through this Ipswich defence, and he's running on to goal. He just needs to try and get that ball back across the keeper if he can, and he misses the goal at the near post, but he looks a real threat out here, Dan James.
He does. Finding real form, the Welsh international. Crossfield switch from Ipswich is looking for Burns, who'll do well to keep that in, and Wes Burns has kept it in. Really good play from Ipswich. He feeds it back to Chaplin, and he will lay it back here for Morsey, who's 30 yards out. Will feed in the ball looking for Hurst. It's headed away and flicked on by Somerville. Tuanzebe beats Rutter to the ball, and then Somerville gets the footage, and it's out for a throw just short of the halfway line, just inside the Leeds half. 1-0 if you just joined us. Pascal Straat with a goal inside 8 minutes. Came from a corner. Pirot's header was saved by Hladky, but there was Straat to head it in from close range. His 3rd league goal of the season, the Leeds captain.
Yeah, and it's important, Mark, that the goals are spread about for Leeds. It's important that they've got a threat from set plays, and that's exactly what that was. There's a great delivery in swinging corner. Keeper didn't deal with it. Knocked back across goal, and there's Pascal's strike to put it in the back of the net. Probably what Leeds' start have deserved, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think what Hladky will be a question is how was Joe Pirot allowed a free header from 6 yards out, but that'll be dealt with in the dressing room, I'm sure, at half-time. Chance here for Ipswich to cross from the right, and this time it's Jed Spence who blocks the ball in, and it's out for a throw in 15 yards away from the corner flag. You're live on Talksport 2. Don't forget we're live at Kenilworth Road this afternoon as well. Live national radio commentary of Luton against Newcastle with Faker Others, Nigel Adderley and the former Arsenal man Perry Groves. Here come Ipswich now looking for an equaliser. Again the cross is blocked outside the penalty area, and Somerville this time couldn't keep it in. It's out for a throw into Ipswich. They are threatening down that right-hand side, Neil, but they haven't yet been able to get across into the box for Hurst to get on the end of.
No, they haven't. I mean, there was the first one that got whipped right across the 6-yard box that Rodon dealt with at the far post, and it just needed more orange shirts in there. But other than that, by and large, the crossing's been poor, but they've threatened Ipswich.
They have. They're on the edge of the area. Hurst lays it off, and Jed Spence did well there. Just poked a leg out to block the attempted ball in. Here's a chance now, and that ball's going to... Well, Harry Clark there had a great chance to cross the ball in from the byline. He's let it run out. I think he thought it came off a Leeds player, and the official right behind him went, no, that's a goal kick.
Yeah, I think the officials got that one right, to be honest with you. And I think Clark, the fullback's just styled that out because it was a bit of a foolish thing to do. But again, they're making advances down that right-hand side. Ipswich, they've got comfortable players on the ball. You know, Wes Burns and Harry Clark like to combine. So it's something that Leeds have got to be mindful of.
Well, look at this. Hurst is sprinted forward to close down Ilan Meslier, and then again Melier's got to go long to this near side, and Dan James puts his hand up and said, yeah, I like the idea, Ilan, but I'm not 9'6", so I'm not going to be able to keep that one in. It's out for a throw into Ipswich. 17 gone here. Leeds 1, Ipswich 0. Neil Redfern, former Leeds boss, alongside myself, Mark Wilson, here at Ellen Road. What a start to the festive period, and what a festive period we've got. 8 live commentaries on Boxing Day alone, including Ipswich against Leicester. More huge matches coming in the Championship and the EFL. Ladke has it at the back, and he will just roll it out on this near side to Cameron Burgess, who feeds it forward. Broadhead shows inside his own half, tries to feed it for Davis, but he went one way and Archie Gray intercepted the ball going the other. He finds Peru. Referee did well to get out of the way of that, but it nipped back, and Wes Burns did really well defensively, his side of halfway, to win it back for Ipswich, who now will start to try and play out from the back. They'll feed it into Chaplin on the half turn, looking now to feed the ball. That's a lovely pass down the touchline to Burns, but not for the first time. Rodon across, defending. Seems to be everywhere at the moment, Joe Rodon.
Yeah, he does. Just going back to that passage there, play, they've missed the press out 2 or 3 times, Ipswich now, where they've played direct balls into the 10. Chaplin just in behind the front. These have just got to be careful that they need to squash the lines a little bit and make it difficult for that pass. It's a little bit opening behind that midfield area.
Well, that's 1-0 to Leeds, but feeling the goals haven't ended yet. This time there's no debate about a Leeds United goal kick. Hurst couldn't keep it in, and it's behind for a Leeds United goal kick. In front of the Cop end here, away to our left. And Meslier will look to get proceedings back underway. Leeds go to Preston on Boxing Day. That's another game you'll hear live on Talksport 2. 12:30 kickoff for that one. And then they go to West Brom on the 29th. Another game you'll hear on the Talksport network. So the Championship promotion race well and truly covered over the next couple of weeks. Well and truly covered over the entire season, of course, but even more games than normal. Add in, as we said, the big-time boxing from Saudi Arabia and the PDC World Darts Championship. What a Christmas it is. Meslier plays it forward. Butted got to it on the half bounce, and he's done really well. He's held Morsey off there, and the ball played out wide. He's just going to skip away. No, James has the pace to keep it in. Peru waits in the middle. Ball in, and it's headed away. Twanzebe. Great header. Falls to Kamara. Is he going to volley it? No, he'll lay it out for Jed Spence. Great play there from Jorginho Rutter, and he set James away, and it looked for a second as though Leeds were going to hit for a second time. Ball out wide on the Leeds left. Here is Jed Spence. Just after a long injury when he joined the club, he's now finding his place in the side on a regular basis. Rodon will feed it out wide here to Archie Gray. Gray will find Dan James. Leeds using every ounce of the Ipswich town half at the moment. James cuts in, puts in a curling ball, and it needed Rutter just to be on the end of it. He couldn't quite reach it, and Ladke, it was one of those, he's praying nobody gets a touch on it. Or he was a sitting duck in the goal, but eventually he claims it's still 1-0.
Yeah, that's good play by Dan James. I mean, he's been the go-to man for Leeds this half. He's been outstanding here on the right-hand side. Needs to get him as much ball as he can, because he doesn't relish the defending side of it, Leif Davis, at the moment.
No, he doesn't. Strout did well to intercept the ball. Here now is Joel Perrault. Looks just to turn it back to Ampadu. Leeds with plenty of bodies forward. Everybody of an Ipswich Town shirt is back within 40 yards of their own goal. Leeds lead by a goal to nil here on Talksport 2. Ball works its way wide now to Spence. Spence on the left-hand side. Someone will just loitering on the corner of the penalty area. Spence will go on the outside. Drives the ball in. They're appealing for a penalty, but the referee waved it away straight away. Looked like it hit the midriff of the Ipswich player, and it's hammered away for a throw in far side.
Yeah, that was a little bit easy for Jed Spence to get down the side. You know, the worrying moments these for Ipswich. They don't want to go 2-0 down, because then obviously that's a mountain to climb from. But they've shown little glimpses in this game, but by and large Leeds have dominated this half so far.
Yeah, Leeds have been aggressive without the ball, haven't they? They're really squeezing Ipswich. They're making them put the ball at risk, and look, it's a double-edged sword, because if Ipswich get the pass right, there's a chance it could be in, but more often than not Leeds are forcing the turnover, and now Leeds have it inside their own half, and Meslier in the penalty area has it again. He's closed down there by George Hurst. Not the best pass to Rodon, didn't really have anywhere to go, and Rodon decides, let's get it out of here.
I think if I were Ipswich, that's something I'd play on. Meslier on the he looks like he's got a rick in him, and he's nearly been caught twice now. Yeah,
they are forcing him to clear it long more often than not. Here's Twanzebe right on the halfway line, spreads it out wide right. Ipswich attacking away to our left, trailing by a goal to nil here. Now they have it with Chaplin, back to goal 30 yards out, feeds it back to Clark. He finds Morsey. Morsey interchanges passes back to Chaplin. Morsey did well there, he'd have no right to win that. Gets it away, Chaplin's shot down, breaks from Broadhead. Referee playing advantage, and the shot from Broadhead is just wide, and the referee says as Ipswich appeal for a free kick, look, I played the advantage, it was a clear foul edge of the area, but Nathan Broadhead had an opportunity to shoot, and he pulls it just wide of the post.
Yeah, you can see why Broadhead's been in amongst the goals for Ipswich, 8 this season in 20 starts. He's got a real no backlift, and the ball flies past the far post. Great play initially by Sam Morsey and Connor Chaplin. He's looked really lively, Connor Chaplin, in these early exchanges. Really bright footballer.
Yeah, Morsey did well. I'd say it was a 40-60, he won it and created that opportunity. I think it was a good advantage from Stephen Martin, the referee, as well. Here are Leeds up the other end. Rutter can't control it, and Leif Davis will go back to Hladky, who just dropped the shoulder there on Rutter. Gives it to Twanzebe, former Manchester United player. He gives it to Morsey. I'm not sure really wanted it there, but got it back to Hladky, and Ipswich will build again. We're already 23 minutes in here. It's gone by in the blink of an eye. Long diagonal ball looking out to the right-hand side. Oh, Jed Spence just for a moment got that wrong, as he lost the ball in flight, just took his eye off it. Strauch is warned by 30-odd thousand Leeds fans that there's a player behind him, and eventually it's cleared up and Ipswich have it back on halfway. Yeah,
that's a couple of diagonal balls that obviously intentionally played by Ipswich that Leeds don't look comfortable on, to be honest with you.
Ball out to Davis on the left-hand side. Only a handful of Leeds first team appearances for Leif Davis, and he's really shot to prominence at Ipswich Town, as now Twanzebe works the ball out wide right-hand side for Ipswich, but Leeds are in there again, and Kamara's won a free kick after he was upended just on the edge of the centre circle, and Leeds will have a free kick. They lead by a goal to nil. Pascal Strauch with a goal on 8 minutes after Perot's header was saved by Hladky, but there was nobody there to keep it out. It was a simple header, and Leeds in front.
Just looking at Glenn Kamara, I mean, he's done a lot of good work. He's sort of gone unnoticed. He's gone quietly about his business, but he's done a lot of good work for Leeds, where he's broke things up and got in and about that Ipswich midfield.
And again, Meslier tried to force a pass to Rodon that wasn't on, and in the end Archie Gray's done well to keep that ball in, and then he finds James, but he's dispossessed by Burgess, and James wins it back, and James will feed it forward to Rutter, who's trying to turn Twanzebe, does better, feeds it to Kamara, who finds Somerville. Now the brakes on, Perot screaming for it through the middle. Somerville goes it alone. Somerville into the edge of the area, glides past one, pulls across it, and it's turned in! I think it's an own goal! Leif Davis has turned into his own net, but Leeds have doubled their lead. A counter-attack, and Somerville with a pace bursts into the area, and Ipswich unable to keep it out of the back of the net. Leeds double their lead. 25 gone on Talksport 2. It's Leeds 2, Ipswich 0.
Well, two absolute bits of magic from Leeds players. Jorginho Rutter to begin with. The ball comes into him. He pins his marker, and he just holds him back. Twanzebe twists and turns, drops it off, and it opens the play up for Leeds. Great ball out to Somerville, and Somerville's got the legs on his opponent. dances into the box. It's a great ball across the 6-yard box, and it's Leif Davis who's unfortunate that puts it into the back of his own net, but no more than Leeds have deserved. They've been the better side, to be honest with you, by some distance.
Yeah, I've just seen a replay. I think it's the defender in front of Davis who miskicks in. He just cannons off the shin of Davis. He didn't know anything about that.
No.
And it's gone in, and I think it was Burgess who could have cleared it, and he missed his kick. And Davis unfortunately has scored at Ellen Road, but in his own net. And Ipswich now have got a bit of a mountain to climb here, but Leeds once again showing their ability on the break. And Rutter, I think the last two guys, I said to you before the game, Neil, I think Coventry and Sunderland have done a really good job in keeping Jorginho Rutter out of the game, but if he can get on the half turn, he's so unselfish, isn't he? He's such a team player.
And I think that was him at his best. You know, it was a fighting ball really, because he had a chance to go and pinch that the defender.
Here's Davis now looking at the other end to set the record right, and on the shot there was Chaplin. Half volley from 20 yards out. He beats Melier, but it cannons off the outside of the post, and Ipswich almost there with an instant reply.
Yeah, fantastic strike from Chaplin. I mean, he's been the standout player for me for Ipswich. I mean, he's so unlucky. It strikes the outside of the post. There's no chance with that, Melier. Just shows you that there's still a little bit of menace in this Ipswich side, even though Leeds are 2-0 up. They know the importance of the next goal, Ipswich.
It makes for a great game, it really does. The fact that Leeds have got in front, Ipswich have got to come at them, Leeds looking to counter-attack. It's a great matchup of styles. There's a ball over the top, and Clark did well, and Burgess will head it back. Don't forget, tonight Talksport brings you the Day of Reckoning, the biggest boxing event of the year, featuring both Deontay Wilder against Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua against Otto Wallin. Our team will bring you full live coverage from Saudi Arabia. The undercard is at 8 o'clock on Talksport 2 tonight, and then Talksport will pick up coverage of the main events from 9. Our top team includes Adam Catterall, Gareth A. Davis, Andy Clark and Spencer Oliver. Talksport 2, your home of boxing. I have to say, love listening to the boxing with the guys, Adam Catterall and Gareth A. Davis. They know their stuff inside out. Here, Ipswich are attacking, looking for a response before the break. Broadhead just tried to chop back, waiting for Leif Davis. Leeds nicked the ball away. It's a point atmosphere here at Ellen Road. Perot lost it momentarily. Does well. The referee going Glenn Kamara's way, but Perot nicked it back. Then he's given it away again. Here's Hurst into the edge of the area. Leeds not clearing their lines, and now Archie Gray will have it. And he decides to play it long up towards Stan James. Again, Rutter brings it down. He went for the no-look pass, and he's played in Somerville, and Clark just got it. Now there's a decision here, because Leeds are claiming that Harry Clark handled this, and the referee's going to give him a yellow card. Now he doesn't handle that, and Crescencio Somerville is in on goal, albeit he's 40 yards away from goal, Neil Redfern, but that was a vital interception by fair means or foul.
Yeah, it was, and a little bit of professionalism. I think the ball skips off the slick surface, and it catches him on the hand. Clark, it is handball. The referee makes the right decision. I think, like you say, Mike, he'd been away there, Somerville. Both wide players have been too much for Ipswich to handle. They can't deal with them pace-wise.
And what about the pass from... I know it was just half a yard short, but it's the fact that he gets it on the turn and hits it first time.
Yeah, he did that for the second goal, Rutter, exactly the same. Ball comes into him, body strength, pins his man, swivels and slides that ball out to the left-hand side where Somerville's waiting.
Here, forward now come Leeds again. Somerville, who has been the main man for Leeds this season, certainly here at home. And now he's earned a free kick. 29.5 gone. Leeds 2, Ipswich 0. Pascal Strout with a header on 8 minutes, and then an own goal from the unfortunate Leif Davis on 25. After good work down the left from Somerville. 2-0.
The thing, looking at both sides before the game, Mark, the thing that just worried me a little bit for Ipswich was perhaps the lack of legs in midfield with Luango and Morsi. And I think we've seen that on occasions where Leeds have got the other side and run away from Ipswich in midfield.
Yeah, it was great speaking to you. I could see the manager in you telling me how you would attack this Ipswich side, and really Leeds have done what you said, get in and amongst that midfield and make it difficult. And we mentioned Kamara earlier on, doing the hard work, the scruffy stuff, closing players down, the unnoticed work. Here now, good work from Kamara with ball in his possession, gets it to Spence. He's got Somerville with him. Instead, he's going to square the ball here to Archie Gray, who could have a chance for a shot from 25 yards. He's going to have a shot as well. It's blocked by the backside of Broadhead, and it'll roll all the way out to Daniel Farker in the Leeds dugout, and Ampadu will take a quick throw in, and Leeds have it back again. They lead by 2-0. Now, what's the Leeds mindset here? 15 to go to the break. They don't have to chase the game, Neil, but they get a third goal here, and this is all but over.
Yeah, I think it is. If Leeds get to 3, I think it is game over. But Ipswich know that if they can get that next goal, and it comes in and around half time, whether it's before or just after, then they've got a realistic chance of getting something out of this. But Leeds have been so dominant, you just can't see it.
Well, here is Dan James cutting in off the right wing, then turns. He's closed down by Leif Davis, lays it off to Gray. Here now is Joel Peru. He's 30 yards out. He's looking for a curling pass. It was intercepted by Clark, but he can only head it straight to Jed Spence. Leeds building up a bit of pressure here in terms of territory. Ampadu now feeds it wide for Gray. Nobody goes to close him down, so Gray will put the cross in. It's blocked initially as it went in the edge of the area. They'll try and play their way out here, Ipswich, but Ampadu is there. They're like a blanket, this Leeds midfield, and Ipswich can't find a way out from underneath it at the moment.
No, they are. I think Kamara has been absolutely outstanding, alongside Ampadu as well. Both have gone unnoticed a little bit, but it's almost like that box that Leeds have got. 2 centre-backs, 2 centre midfield, and they control that central area. It's difficult for Ipswich to make any ground through there. We've seen glimpses of Connor Chaplin, but by and large he's been a passenger really, and he's the main man, for Ipswich, and Leeds have nullified that.
Yeah, it's not that one snapshot that hit the post. Here now is Spence, leads down the left-hand side. 3 waiting edge of the area. Somerville wanted it early, but Spence's pass was blocked, and Ipswich, to be fair, have defended that pretty well. Now they've got to clear their lines, and they do clear it down their right-hand side. Good skill there, and Spence upends the Ipswich player far side of the field. It's a free kick for Ipswich. I think they're happy just at the moment, Neil, just to get a breather in and take their time here.
Yeah, you're right, they are. I mean, it's been a little bit of a whirlwind first half for them. They found it difficult at times just to stay with this Leeds side. They've got lots of pace in areas, Leeds, athleticism, very powerful in midfield with Kamara. And obviously Reuter up down the middle. He's a real pivot for them to go into, where the ball sticks, and we know they can get these runners forward then, and they've done it really, really well.
Yeah, Hurst as well back to goal. He had Roden all over him, but Joe Perreault just nicked the ball away from in front of him, so Leeds double team in there on George Hurst. 6 goals for him in the Championship so far this season. All that wide to Jed Spence. Leeds are starting to have more of the ball, which is unusual, as Liam Cooper, the club captain, just goes for a warm-up down the touchline in front of the Kop. He gets a good ovation. Willie Nonto going to join him. Ball given away. Now Davis was brought down on halfway by Gray, and in fact it's Dan James who's brought him down, and Dan James is going to get a yellow card there because Leif Davis was racing away on halfway. Half a chance there on the break for Ipswich was upended by the foul from Dan James.
Yeah, he read the pass brilliantly, Leif Davis, and I think Dan James just took one for the team there, just cut across him like he pretended he was running back, but he catches his man, brings him down. It is a yellow card. He's shown glimpses, Leif Davis, where when he does get in that final third, he's got a little bit of quality. And I think in wide areas it's a different sort of attacking prominence from Ipswich, but it's more of a build and a raid. But they have shown glimpses.
Well, they have. Ampadu gets it back to Melier, who left-footed hammers it long. It's over Rutter, so Twanzebe will take it on his chest. Lovely bit of skill. And rolls it back to Hladky. Rutter will go closing down. Here now is Luongo, edge of his own area to Twanzebe. Out wide, right touchline. Lovely play there. Morsey now on the half-turn. Gets into the centre circle. Now he'll find Leif Davis, who is now over halfway. Just had to check and wait for the Morsey pass to arrive. Gives it back to Morsey on halfway. And Ipswich just have to slow things down here. They trail by 2-0. 35 gone. You're live on Talksport 2. Mark Wilson and Neil Redfern will be down to Kenilworth Road. Luton Newcastle. Huge game in the Premier League. It's live and exclusive on Talksport 2 from 3. Faker Others with Nigel Adley and Perry Groves. Ball over the top. It wasn't cut out by Strauch. It'll fall edge of the area here. Chaplin simply outnumbered in the end. If he'd have had an extra orange shirt with him, that would have been a really good chance. And not for the first time today, Neil. A ball in the air has caused Leeds huge problems.
Yeah, definitely. That was totally misjudged. You just got to be careful because he's made good runs, Chaplin. He's a quality player, and he's aware of the space in front and behind George Hurst. He's a good link with him. And Leeds have just got to be careful that they don't get that wrong, because you only need one of them in front of goal and it can be in the back of your net.
Yeah, no goals yet on Talksport as Leeds have turned it over on halfway now here, and James comes forward for Leeds. He's got Rutter on his outside and James just held on to it too long. The counter-attack was on again, Leeds winning the ball on halfway, but this time they didn't make enough of it. James just guilty of hesitating on the ball, maybe dwelling on it. It's Broadhead now going the other way, has it, on halfway. He pirouettes and turns away from Kamara and Ampadu. He's still going forward. He'll try and feed it now to Burns, but Spence is in there, but Spence doesn't clear it properly, but he's going to get a throw-in over on the far side. So both sides there with chances on the break and not taking them.
Yeah, I think Leeds have missed Byram a little bit at left back, if I'm honest, defensively. It doesn't look that assured for me, Spence. Good going forward, links in well with Somerville, but that's 2 or 3 occasions now where he's been caught a little bit. Yeah. Definitely been caught out with a diagonal twice.
He has, although Leeds have just shanked the clearance out. It is over on Talksport. West Ham 0, Manchester United 0. 10 to go to the break. You can join that one live over on Talksport. If you've got the app, you can swipe left and right between the 2 games today. If you've not got it, then treat yourself for Christmas. It's free and available in all the usual places. And given the amount, the sheer volume of live sport we've got coming up for you over the next few weeks, it's worth having. Long throw from Ipswich towards the edge of the area, headed away by Strout. Twanzebe will get it 30 yards out. He tried to square it. He was lucky. He miscued that. He got just enough of it to take it away from Somerville. Here's Ladke, edge of the centre circle. Long ball over the top. Archie Gray takes it on his chest. It's hard to believe how young this fella is, and what a good player, what a good footballer he is. But his clearance bounces away from him, and Davis watches it go out, but that's going to be a throw into Leeds.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic skill by Archie Gray. I mean, he watches that all the way onto his chest, takes it away. He's under pressure, by the way. Well, this is happening. He's in his own box. Great play.
He is a fantastic young talent. Comes from good stock, of course. His family have got a rich history here at Leeds United. Ball played over the top, and Gray's now has got more work to do in that right back position, and Hurst not giving him a second, and this time he can't keep it in, and it's out for a throw to Ipswich Town. We've got 7 minutes of the 45 remaining here. Leeds 2, Ipswich 0. Strauchen, an own goal for Leif Davis. The goals for Leeds United. Ipswich hit the post on 27. A Connor Chaplin power drive from 20 yards out, hit the foot of the post, but bounced away to safety. Long throw again for Ipswich. This is a better one. It's into the 6-yard box, headed partially away, headed back to this near side for Leif Davis, who acrobatically hooks across into the edge of the area. It's headed up in the air by Leeds. Wes Burns brings it down. Beautiful skill from him. Burns level with the edge of the box on the left-hand side. Looks it onto his right foot, trying to work across him, but Dan James is there to block it, and it's out for a throw into Ipswich Town.
Yeah, been impressive today, Dan James. I think he's been brilliant, both in possession, out possession. Worked his socks off. Been a real threat. Track back as well. It's more like him. Here is Twanzebe turning, and Rutter almost picked his pocket there. Ball forward, cannons off James, but it'll ricochet. Now it's given away as Hurst tried to feed it into Chaplin. Somerville going the other way. The 2 number 10s go shoulder to shoulder, and that's going to be another free kick Somerville earns for Leeds United. He's such an outlet, isn't he, for this side? Yeah, and he's frightened of tackling him now, Clark. Obviously he's on a yellow card for that handball offence on the halfway line. So he's got to stand up, can't make a challenge and get another yellow, or to be off.
Here's James trying to get him down the right-hand side. He gets past Davis, and that's going to be a corner. James just nudged it past the fullback, and the fullback had to poke it behind. It's a corner down the Leeds United right-hand side, won by Dan James. 5 to go to the break, and the likes of Strauchen Road on are coming forward again. Somerville trots across to come and take it on this near side. And the Norman Hunter South stand are all on their feet, hoping to see another goal down that end of the field. Kieran McKenna looks on from his technical area. Daniel Farker looks on, hands in pockets, looks quite nonplussed at the moment. Somerville going to swing this one in. Here comes the delivery now, whipped in wickedly. Twanzebe, good header. No Leeds player got to him here. Now it'll fall 30 yards out. I thought Gray was going to hit it from there. He would have been forgiven if he'd have had a shot. He had room. Ball wide on the left, cross towards the far post, 2 deep above Somerville, and Ipswich defend it nicely. It's out for a goal kick. It still leads to Ipswich 0.
Yeah, I mean, decent delivery in, well dealt with Good header out by Twanzebe. Leeds pick it up on the edge of the box, but fizzles out to nothing. But they're well worthy of the 2-goal lead. Leeds, they've been the side that have been the aggressors, although Ipswich started with a really high press and looked like they were going to carry a threat, but it's Leeds that really have carried the threat this half, and I don't think Ipswich have had too much of an answer, to be honest with you.
No, Clark's just let the ball roll under his boot over on that far side. Going to be a big half-time team talk for Kieran McKenna's side, who were 2-0 down at Birmingham a few games ago, managed to pull it back and get a draw there. So they have got history and they do score goals on their travels. Only once have they failed to score away from home this season. But they may need to change things up a little bit here, because Leeds look comfortable, and if there is going to be a third, you'd have to say Leeds look more likely to get it at the moment.
Yeah, and I think the big ask as well is, you know, there's 1 or 2 players on yellow cards that are tiring a little bit, and Leeds players are of the sort that they can draw these challenges and get the other yellow card. It might end up with 10 men here, Ipswich.
Yeah, well, James for Leeds in the book, Clark for Ipswich. Here come Ipswich now with Burns. He's bundled over by Jed Spence. This will be a free kick. Midway inside the Leeds half, right over on the Ipswich right-hand side, but this is in the range where they can put this one into the area and hopefully get the first goal back and half their 2-goal deficit at the moment. 3 to go to the break on Talksport 2.
I think that's been Ipswich's best route in. Down the side of Jed Spence, looked a bit iffy at times, and also Ilan Melier when he's dwelt on the ball, and this is a free kick given away by Spence in a good position for Ipswich if they can get a decent ball in.
Yeah, could be a lifeline back into this game for them. Cross coming in from the right-hand side is a good ball into the edge of the 6-yard box. Great header, Rutter. Got underneath it and skimmed it away, almost back-headed it out of his penalty area. That was a really good defensive header.
Yeah, you're looking for a red shirt to get on the end of that. I mean, it's a fantastic ball. It's tantalising. It's just floating across the 6-yard box. Great header by Rutter. He's been outstanding today for Leeds.
Leif Davis with a long throw, about 20 yards away from the corner flag. Fires it in, it's flicked on at the far post. There's nobody there. Jed Spence had an eternity to allow the ball to bounce and then clear it, and now Leeds are looking to break here. Morsey's all over Rutter, who tries to feed James in, who's onside. James to Somerville. Somerville goes down. Penalty Leeds. Disaster for Ipswich. Another Leeds United counter-attack ends, and this time it's a penalty kick. James unselfish, but that was all at the other end. Ipswich win the flick on Neil Redfern. There's nobody there to put it in the back of the net, and 5 seconds later Leeds have got a penalty.
Again, pace. You know, Leeds have got a pace in abundance in wide areas. It's Somerville this time that gets onto it. Brilliant again by Jorginho Rutter. Picks up a loose ball in midfield, slides it through to his teammate. It is a foul. I mean, he's clever, Somerville, because he makes a lot of it, but it is a foul. And if this goes in the back of the net, this is a long way back for Ipswich.
It was Leif Davis who's already scored an own goal. Well, interesting here, Joe Perreault, I think, wanted to take it, but Somerville has put the ball on the spot. Leeds United's top scorer in front of the Norman Hunter stand. Can Vaclav Haladky keep him out? Can he keep Ipswich in the game? Or will Somerville put Leeds 3-0 up? Short run up for Somerville. The noise, the roar at Ellen Rowe will tell you everything. A game that Leeds United had to win. And at half-time, they're going to lead by 3-0. Somerville wins the penalty and finishes emphatically. It's Leeds 3, Ipswich 0.
Well, attacking-wise for me, the 2 standout players for Leeds have been James here on the right-hand side and the scorer of the penalty there, Somerville. Pace that Ipswich just cannot deal with. They've not got the pace to stay with these wide players. It's caused them all sorts of problems for the 45 minutes. And it's Somerville slides that penalty. It's a great penalty, keeps his composure, gets the goalkeeper going, sends him the wrong way. Now this is a mountain to climb for Ipswich. 3 goals. I don't know how Kieran McKenna's going to go about his half-time team talk, but they need a miracle here now, Ipswich. 3
added minutes here at Ellen Road. That's a sea of noise. Kieran McKenna looks on, hands in pockets. He's not had too many turbulent days as manager of the Tractor Boys, but he's having one here. And Leeds United have come out firing. And they have come out and they have taken opportunities as Haladki under pressure here. Rutter again leading the charge. Haladki almost let the ball roll into his own net there. He is a cool customer, but that was pushing it even for him. Wow. Ball spread out wide. Archie Gray's got it. Leif Davis knew he wasn't going to get on the end of it, and now the ball going forward with Archie Gray. Leeds couldn't score another, could they, and added on time? No, because James has given the ball away, but then he tries to win it back. But Chaplin skips down the touchline, looks for an early crossing. Rodon is there. It'll bounce off him for Luongo. Centre circle. And now the ball almost given away again. Rutter would have been in on goal, but Luongo found Hladky instead.
Yeah, they look rattled, Ipswich.
Yeah.
They've not been in this position before. This is a new one for Kieran McKenna. Young up-and-coming manager. You know, this is where you learn your trade. 3-0 down at Ellen Road. Partisan crowd, full house. You've got to try and find a way back.
Yeah.
This is a test for him.
They've come into the Lions' Den, Neil, and it's feeding time in the Lions' Den. Leeds have come out and they've feasted on Ipswich here in this first 45 minutes. Yes, there's a long way to go, but Leeds in this kind of mood look rampant, and everything that Ipswich do at the moment is pressured, hurried and harried. And Ampadu there with a little bit more composure could have fed Rutter in, but he just punted it downfield and said, you can have it. Vaclav Hladky. 3-0. Strout an own goal, and Somerville from the penalty spot have given Leeds a commanding lead here. And all of a sudden that gap between second and third doesn't look quite so insurmountable. Twanzebe comes forward. Remember, Leeds at Preston live on Talksport 2 on Boxing Day at 12:30. Ipswich Leicester live on Talksport 2 7:45 on Boxing Day. 8 live commentaries across the Talksport network on Boxing Day, as Ipswich are just playing around in their own half here. They're almost inviting Leeds on, and now a free kick for offside against Ipswich, despite the fact they got it in their own half. They'd come from an offside position, and Leeds, with just seconds left of the first half, they're just going to pass the ball around. And well, Daniel Farke was quick to play it down midweek that this wasn't a must-win game for Leeds. But at 3-0 up, it's looking like a huge 3 points, and there could be more to come here. James, edge of the area, has it, tries to feed the ball for Somerville, but Somerville came short. The ball went long, but Leeds fans will forgive that. The half-time whistle goes here, and a deafening roar from 35,000 plus Leeds United fans. They got off to a flying start after Leeds won an early corner. Somerville's corner was headed down by Joel Perreault. Hladky kept it out, but could only parry it into the path of Pascal Strout. And the Leeds United captain a yard out, couldn't miss, and he didn't miss. 1-0 became 2 after more good work from Crescencio Somerville. Skated his way into the area, drilled a cross in, and after Burgess couldn't clear it, it ricocheted off Leif Davis and into the back of his own net, and Leeds were 2 to the good. Chaplin hit the bottom of the post after Meslier was beaten from 20 yards out, but it cannoned to safety. And then just on the break, another Leeds United counter-attack. Dan James, unselfish, rolled the ball to Somerville. Leif Davis brought him down from the spot. Somerville made no mistake, sending it high into the top corner with Hladky going the wrong way. Kieran McKenna, it's a huge 3 games for him. They got the draw in the big derby last week. They've got Leicester on Boxing Day, but here at Ellen Road, they're in danger of taking a beating here this afternoon. At the break, it's Leeds United 3, Ipswich 0.
Thank you very much, Mark. What a first 45 minutes of football if you're a Leeds United fan. And you said it repeatedly, Neil, Ipswich just could not deal with the pace on the wings of the Leeds players. Yeah, absolutely, Faye. And, you know, in counter-attacks or transition, if you like, Leeds are probably one of the best sides in the Championship at it. You know, they wait for those moments, and, you know, once you've got such as Dan James running away from you and Crescencio Somerville on the other side, and it's all come from them moments. And obviously Jorginho Rutter's been really focal to this in his hold-up play. Everything's stuck, it's gone back, and they've got the up, back and through to the wide players, and Ipswich just haven't got an answer to it. No, they haven't. And we talked about Leif Davis, you know, going into the game in terms of his attacking prowess and the amount of assists that he's had, but he's had a shocker of a first 45 minutes, hasn't he? You know, own goal for the second goal after that Somerville brilliant run, just stuck his leg out, and then of course he conceded the penalty as well. Yeah, definitely, and I think from Ipswich's point of view, you know, the ball's not really stuck up there long enough for Ipswich to create anything meaningful, and what's happened is when the ball changes hands and Leeds do break,
this outlet that they've got of pace in wide areas is just unbelievable. It's been a real feature of Leeds' play this season. And Ipswich have just not had an answer to it.
Big team talk for Kieran McKenna at half-time. You've been in these situations yourself before. What do you say to your team to pick them off the floor when they're 3-0 down in a massive game like this?
Well, first of all, Ipswich have got to get the next goal. I know it sounds a really trite thing to say, but they've got to try and get it. They've got to try and get that next goal. They've got to put some doubt in Leeds United's mind, and if they can get that early enough, then they might be able to get a foothold in the game. At the moment, the game's just going away from them. Some of the play's been okay, but the game's been lightweight. Ipswich look like a side that's been promoted out of the division below, and Leeds United look like a side that's been in the division above the Premier League. That's what it looks like at the minute, in quality. And that's not any slant on Ipswich. They've done absolutely fantastic this season, but you can see the frailties at the moment. They're up against the top side, and probably from Kieran McKenna's point of view, he's probably needed to know this about his team. So he needs to do some serious work at half-time to try and get this Ipswich side back in the game.
Absolutely, he does. Let's see whether or not they can do it. Thank you, Neil. Go and get yourselves warm for the 15 minutes that we have at half-time. Over on Talksport right now, half-time is West Ham 0, Manchester United 0 at the London Stadium. A game that it sounded as if it only just about came to life in the last 5 minutes of the match. So all to play for in the second 45 coming up over on Talksport 2. We'll get an update as well from the PDC World Dance Championship in the afternoon session. Ian Dancer is at his spiritual home, Ali Pali. How you doing, Dance?
Very good, thanks, Faye. And we're into day 9, and we've already had a big shock with the first match of the afternoon, where Kim the Hurricane Huybrechts, the 31 seed, has basically been turned into a moderately fresh breeze by the man on debut. The Dutchman, Richard Venstra, has not only beaten Huybrechts to go through on his Ali Pali debut, he's won every single leg, getting 64% on his doubles, a 99 average for his 3-dart scoring phase, whereas Huybrechts didn't manage a single attempt at double. 8 attempts, all missed. Paul Nicholson, former PDC professional, alongside me. An extraordinary performance from Flyers.
Yeah, really good performance from Richard, who is always regarded as a very dangerous player from the Netherlands. He's won some big titles in the previous part of his career, but to do that on debut, in his debut campaign, in his second match on that stage, just goes to show how much in the way of problems Michael van Gerwen's got after Christmas.
So Huybrechts dumped out, and another seed being threatened here. The bookies think that young German starlet Ricardo Petreczko should give Callan Ridge, the number 30 seed, some problems. And the Ali Pali Wasp has made his first appearance in the afternoon as the two players start their round 2 match. Regular updates throughout the day across the Talksport network here, and commentary later on tonight, Faye.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Ian Dancer. Ellen Road in our EFL live and exclusive national radio commentary here on Talksport 2. It's Leeds 3, Ipswich 0. Yes, you heard that right. Leeds 3, Ipswich 0. Second half commentary to come. Plus, we'll preview our 3 o'clock kickoff of Luton Town against Newcastle United next here on Talksport 2.
Join the Football Collective.
EFL Game Day Live
on Talksport 2. Kick off your Sunday morning with a weekend sports breakfast on Talksport with goals. The free football pull-out with the Sun. Scores! Lace up your boots with the nation's brightest sports breakfast, featuring insider news, big match previews, and expert analysis from Tony Cascarino and Natalie Sawyer.
Oh, it's absolutely magnificent!
Get fully loaded for football with a weekend sports breakfast tomorrow morning from 6 on Talksport with Goals, the essential free football pull-out with the Sun, every Saturday, Sunday and Monday.
What was your best Christmas ever? The year you got your dream bike? Or the one when Granny had one too many eggnogs? When you woke up to a white Christmas? Or will it be this year? Lotto's £15 million jackpot must be won tonight. Or thousands of you will win a share of the jackpot. Now that could top them all. This Christmas, it could be you. Lotto from the National Lottery. Play on app. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
At Tesco Mobile this Christmas, get the incredible iPhone 14 with AirPods Pro. This duo includes 5G plus 25 gigs of data, so you can enjoy all your favourite Christmas songs and adaptive audio, all for just $38.99 a month with club card prices, saving you £288. This is Supermarket Mobile. Search Tesco Mobile. Every little helps.
Ends 28th of December. Club card and 36-month credit agreement required. Subject to status. Terms at tescomobile.com/terms.
McDelivery, you in?
Oh, am I? What a day. I need 6 chicken McNuggets, or maybe 9, or maybe 6 and a cheeky cheeseburger. Makes sense. With something sweet to follow, like an apple pie, or a McFlurry. Or I could get a milkshake instead. You know, a nice halfway house of drink and ice cream.
Jane, the game's just starting.
Oh, hi. Yeah, sorry. I'm in.
There's nothing quite like a McDelivery. You in? At participating restaurants only. 18 plus. Serving times, delivery fees and terms apply. See app or mcdonalds.com for details.
December 23rd is Day of Reckoning. Witness the biggest names in boxing.
Here we go, our main event.
Joshua versus Wallen and Wilder versus Parker. Headline a history-making boxing card.
This is expected to be fight of the year.
Legends will be forged. Fairness awaits. Reckoning is in the ring. Live on the Zone pay-per-view and TNT Sports box office December 23rd. Visit dayofreckoning.co.uk.
Talksport 2 is your dynamic destination for all the latest sporting action, featuring live commentary of all the biggest events, including football, PGA golf, horse racing, Premiership rugby, cricket, boxing, and all the big-hitting drama of the NFL.
Touchdown!
Plus, Talksport 2's official betting partner, William Hill, is always on hand with the insight and in-depth analysis you need. Talksport 2 with official betting partner, William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
NFL Live, tomorrow night from 6 on Talksport 2. Talksport 2 brings you gridiron grinding, touchdown tackling, full live commentary of the Cleveland Browns at the Houston Texans.
Slings one down the right sideline, inside the 5 and inside the pylon. Touchdown.
NFL Live, tomorrow night from 6 on Talksport 2.
It's the totally immersive football experience.
Tucked into the near post.
EFL Game Day Live
on Talksport 2.
A colleague of mine who has access to information from the tunnel area has confirmed that the Bournemouth staff doctor has confirmed that Tom Lockyer is alert and responsive.
And we will take things a baby step at a time and we'll support him and his family, and that's all that matters.
Carlton Morris with a chance to score Luton Town's first ever Premier League goal. Runs up, rolls it into the bottom right corner. The Luton fans go wild.
He's back home now. He's recovering in a good place. I spoke to him throughout the week. We have been putting it all into our performances recently, but you know, if we needed any more motivation, this is for sure it.
This is EFL Live on Talksport 2 at 12:30. Top of the table commentary is Leeds 3, Ipswich 0 at half-time. Second half commentary at Ellen Road coming shortly. I'm Faye Carruthers with you here at Kenilworth Road ahead of our 3 p.m. kickoff between Luton Town and Newcastle United. Don't forget, we are the only place you can hear this match on national radio. It is not on television. Our wonderful commentary team of Nigel Adderley and former Arsenal winger Perry Groves are alongside me to preview this one. Listen, I think everybody knows what my allegiances are to Luton Town Football Club, and it's been a really emotional and tough week for the club in general, Perry. But I was down at the training ground on Thursday to speak to Rob Edwards, the Luton manager, and Carlton Morris, the Luton Town striker, to see how Tom Lockyer, Luton's captain, is after that scary collapse and cardiac arrest that we subsequently found out it was at Bournemouth last weekend. And the good news is that Tom is home. And when I spoke to Carlton in particular, he said they were going to try and use what had happened last week in the game and the rest of the season to make sure they do it for locks, is what he said.
Yeah, very much so. And obviously they'll just take the positivities out of it, because I was at the game, Faye, actually, obviously down at Bournemouth, and it was a very, very difficult time for everybody involved. And we was talking about it earlier. If you said in a week's time we'd be in this situation, I'd have snapped your hand off. Do you know what I mean? Because Tom's, as you said, he's fine, he's recovering, he's home with his family. Rob Edwards said obviously it was a very difficult situation. He praised everybody quite rightly down at Bournemouth, from the medical staff, you know, to the coaching staff, to the fans, to the Luton fans. Everybody came together.
He gave the Luton players a couple of days off because none of the players would have been in that sort of situation before to process it all. And I think what it is, Faye, it actually makes you think more deeply about how lucky that we all are. How lucky we all are, to have our loved ones with us. How lucky we all are to be involved in football. And then, in a way, it might take away the seriousness of the situation that we're in on the football side of it. It might make the players, obviously they'll want to be at full pelt, they want to be 100% focused mentally and physically, but it might just make them relax a little bit, and think, well, there's far more serious things in life than whether you're going to stay in the Premier League. Yeah,
football comes second to anything like this, and even covering Newcastle Fulham last weekend on Talksport 2 while all that was happening at the Vitality Stadium, it just felt so wrong talking about a game of football, but at the same time that's what we're here to do, and it's a crazy festive fixture list as well, and so grateful to hear that Tom's back home and with his family and recuperating. But Nigel, this game is crucial for both teams really. Luton obviously in terms of the relegation battle that they're in, and Newcastle in terms of the terrible injury list that they've had, needing to get a little bit of momentum back to keep up with the top four.
Yes, and of course, we talk about perspective, and there is perspective when you talk about Newcastle coming into this game after a pretty poor time. Of course, going out of the Champions League, out of the Carabao Cup, they're losing touch with the top four, but they can change that situation over Christmas. But they've never done well here at Luton. It's a long time since they played at Kenilworth Road, but even when they came here in the top flight, when David Pleat was the Luton manager, they very rarely scored, and they never seemed to win. And if that continues here today, then Luton are going to be right back in it, because we've seen what's happened to Nottingham Forest over the past few weeks. Of course, new management there now, but I've always thought, I was sat across in the old press box for the opening game here against West Ham on that Friday night, and said then Luton Town had to win games at home to survive, and I think that's not changed. No, it definitely hasn't. It's going to be a fantastic game. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff, but our 12:30 kickoff, Kieran McKenna, the Ipswich manager, with everything to do in the second half against Leeds United. Let's head back to Ellen Road and our commentary team of the former Leeds United manager Neil Redfern alongside Mark Wilson.
Cheers, Faye. Well, we've just seen Ipswich emerge from the tunnel here. Doesn't look like they're going to make any changes at half-time. Leeds just coming out for the second half. Leeds leading by 3-0. An utterly dominant first half performance. Interesting there, Joel Perreault and Crescencio Somerville coming out arm in arm out of the tunnel. They did have words, nothing bad, Neil, but I think Perreault wanted to take the penalty, but Somerville said, no, I want it, I'm taking it.
Yeah, I mean, they're both in form, so they're both confident to go and take it. I think Somerville's been outstanding along with Dan James. That's been the issue for Ipswich, dealing with that pace in wide areas. I mean, interesting to see how they go about it this half.
It will indeed. So, there are no changes, which is somewhat of a surprise, but we'll see if Kieran McKenna's half-time team talk has had any effect here as we get underway in the second half. Live on Talksport 2, we'll get the team news from Nigel ahead of that Luton-Newcastle game. Around about 25 minutes or so here on Talksport 2. As Sam Morse is just having a word with the referee ahead of the restart here. Leeds attacking the Kop end away to our left-hand side. Will they go hunting more goals, or are they happy with what they have? We will find out here on Talksport 2. Referee just checking everyone's in the right position, and we get it off and running, and Twanzebe's clearance has been charged down, but the referee's going to deem that Joel Perreault had handled it. Let me give you the team lineups then. We'll start with the visitors. Ladke in goal, back four of Clark, Twanzebe, Burgess and Leif Davis, who's had a nightmare return to Ellen Road, put through his own net and conceded a penalty. Morsey and Luongo holding, with Burns, Chaplin and Broadhead behind Hurst up top. As the ball played forward, it goes to Meslier. He will regather it on the byline. He is in goal with Gray, Rodon, Strauch and Spence at the back. Ampadu and Kamara holding, with James Perreault, Somerville and Rutter, the front four for Leeds, who, have to say, Neil Redfern, on the break have been devastating.
Yeah, I mean, for me, they're the best front line in the division by some distance. And I think they've got that creative talent, pace, athleticism.
Well, here they are now. Somerville's picked up a ball, edge of the area, tries to work his way into the area. He gives it to Spence, who did well to stay on side. Spence down the left-hand side of the penalty area. Works it back to Somerville. Tried to drive it into the feet of Pirot, but it's not going to work. And Wes Burns will bring it away for Ipswich Town, who've got a mountain to climb here. Burns weaving his way over halfway. Did well, actually. And eventually draws a throw-in after Kamara got his man round about the 10th attempt for Glenn Kamara, but he hustled and harried and got the job done in the end.
Yeah, he's been a standout in midfield, Glenn Kamara. I mean, we only just started the second half, but that first half, really dominant physically, got close to players. What you want as a manager from a defensive midfield player.
Here is Harry Clark, who was booked in that first half for a handball that did deny Leeds a counter-attacking opportunity. And the ball now with Axel Tuanzebe, who comes forward, tries to roll it into the feet of Hurst. Hurst does well, but he did well, and then gave it straight to Dan James, and James finds Rutter, who's rolled his man. He's got Pirot one side, and he's gone here. Joe Pirot just forced wide of goal. Can he get the shot away? Little step over, drives it, hits the underside of the bar, and goes behind somehow for a goal kick. That looked all over a fourth Leeds goal.
Yeah, I mean, he steadied himself brilliant there, Pirot. Great run, good first touch, no backlift, great power, and it struck the underside of the bar and somehow bounced away on the far side for a goal kick. But that came from Ipswich being in possession and losing possession, and Leeds in transition again, and it's been a feature of this game, all the way through. Leeds so good at it.
Leeds millimetres away from a fourth goal. And it all came about through Hurst losing it in the Leeds half, and that's why Ipswich have got to be so careful here. It is the ultimate game of stick or twist. If they go chasing the game too vigorously, they could get undone, but they have got goals in them, so do they back their skill? Here now is Burns. Burns feeds it in here to Chaplin. Chaplin back to Burns. There are three orange shirts waiting in the middle. It'll come back to Chaplin, edge of the area, miscontrols it, and now there could be another break in coming here. Pirot's fouled though, midway inside his own half. And that was a good foul to give away for Luongo. It just halted the progress of Leeds. And it remains 3-0 here on Talksport 2. 3 gone second half.
Again, just that attack there for Ipswich. Kamara, that's the man that's in the way. Been outstanding in midfield for me. He's gone unnoticed a little bit, but he's stood out like a sore thumb for me. Brilliant.
Leeds working forward inside their own half. Strauch looking to go back to Meslier. Hurst again will chase him down. Ball works its way across, and ball played forward by Rodon. Dan James is onside, and he chests it down here. He's got so much room, and now the white shirts come flooding forward again, and James just couldn't find Rutter, and it'll be cleared away by Ipswich. But it is, isn't it, for Ipswich here? What do? Well, they've earned a free kick just short of halfway, but Leeds look even more threatening on the break at the minute.
Well, they do, and if you look, they're almost waiting for Ipswich. They're getting back into that mid-block lead. As soon as they lose it, bang, it's like the red arrows, they're off. And at times it's 4v4, with Leeds running at them.
Here's Somerville. Somerville nicks it forward. Rutter backing into Tuanzebe. The referee says that Tuanzebe has hauled the Leeds centre forward down. They both sportingly help each other up to their feet, and it's a free kick for Leeds, about 10 yards over the halfway line. 4 gone second half, still Leeds 3, Ipswich 0.
Yeah, Tuanzebe's having a real problem with Georgina Rutter. He's rolled him, he's got his body in, he's laid balls off, he doesn't know when they get tight or drop off him. And everything's been around Rutter as a fulcrum for Leeds. Really held the play up well.
Yeah, they paid 36 million for him, didn't they, in the January, and he came in, and I think it's fair to say, without being harsh on him, he looked like a fish out of water, and I don't think anybody really knew what his strengths were, but now he's in the Championship playing regular football. We've seen his strengths. Yeah. He can hold the ball up, he's very unselfish, and he's not frightened to shoot when he gets in the penalty box.
Definitely. I think his qualities are the fact that he brings other goal scorers into the game. His goal record's poor for a striker. 4's not enough, and he'll know that. But the fact that his hold-up play, he must have been involved in 60-70% of Leeds United's goals.
Yeah, well, Mellier's just given the ball away. Morsey drives forward. He's upended, but fairly. And then Chaplin's pass is intercepted. Rutter was trying to drive forward. Luongo did well to win the challenge, but what would you do here if you were Kieran McKenna? Are you going all out to try and get a point here, or are you playing it quite safe, and so if we get one, we'll see what happens after that? Or are you saying, look, let's just not concede anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two ways of looking at this. You know, I think while there's time in the game, I think they've got to try and get that next goal if they can. As it goes on, obviously they're going to have, you know, the Leicester City game in the mind, I would have thought. You know, as a manager, he's got to think about limitation. But, you know, I just don't think they've shown enough today, Ipswich. They've had little glimpses right at the beginning of the game, but nothing major.
Well, they've given it away again. Burgess it was trying to work the ball out wide, and now Perrault has it through the middle. He's miscontrolled it. It's fallen to Rutter. Rutter driving in on goal. It falls to Perrault. Perrault in on goal! 4-0 Leeds United. Joel Perrault in his goal. 9th of the season. Ipswich had multiple opportunities to clear the ball, but Leeds are laying down a marker here that says to Ipswich Town, your lead is now down to 7 and we are coming after you.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant finish. Again, Rutter's involved, twists and turns, gets brought down for me on the edge of the box. The ball runs through to Perrault. Fantastic feat to skip to one side and create a fashion of shooting opportunity. And the strike is absolutely unerring. Straight past the keeper into the far corner. I mean, this has been a bit of a lesson for Ipswich, to be honest with you. I mean, they're up there on merit, to be honest with you. They've been brilliant this season. But this has been a lesson today for Ipswich.
Great finish. He miscontrolled it initially. Rutter wins it back after Twenzebi slip. The ball came off Clark, back to Perrault, got it out of under his left foot, onto his right, round about the penalty spot, and stroked it unerringly past Halak, who had absolutely no chance. 4-0 and game over.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not using this as an excuse, but you know, I just wonder how much the absence of Luke Wolfenden has made a difference for Ipswich. You know, he's had the partnership with Burgess for a decent run of games now for Ipswich, and obviously Twanzebi's come in and just hasn't happened for him today. I think Rutter's had the measure of him, and Leeds have got themselves 4 goals in front. Could have been more, to be honest with you.
And it might end up being more as well. Ipswich have it. Still no sign of any substitutes. Only Willie Nonto warming up. Now Ipswich attack down their left. A theatrical fall to the ground over on the far side. Referee having none of it. And it's a goal kick for Leeds United. 9 gone second half. Live on Talksport 2. And I think it's Davis who's gone down holding his face. Hopefully he will be okay. Don't forget, Talksport tonight brings you the Day of Reckoning, the biggest boxing event of the year. Features Deontay Wilder versus Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua against Otto Wallin. RT will bring you full live commentary from Saudi Arabia. The undercard at 8 on Talksport 2, then Talksport pick up coverage of all the main events at 9. Our top team include Adam Cattrall, Gareth A. Davis, Andy Clark and Spencer Oliver. Talksport 2 is your home of boxing. And this place at Ellen Road is like a bear pit. Leeds unbeaten at home all season, and they've battered 4 past the team who've only lost once away all season. And we must say as well, Neil, it's the second time Leeds have put 4 past Ipswich this season.
Yeah, they have, yeah. I mean, you made a really good point, Mark, right at the beginning, and when we were discussing Leeds, and you know, when they have struggled a little bit, when they couldn't get the ball into Rutter's feet.
Yeah.
But the passing lanes have been really open.
Here's a chance now. Rutter leaves it. Somerville on the penalty spot, tries to get it on his feet, lays it back to Perrault. Leeds too greedy there, trying to walk it in. Lay it back to Kamara. Could have and should have had a shot there, Somerville. Here's Jed Spence. Lays it back to Ampadu. Ampadu moves it now to Gray. Gray fancies a shot, loops off a defender and behind. Well, when you're 4-0 up, I guess you can over-elaborate a little bit, Neil, but that was another huge chance for another Leeds goal.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Farke will want his team to be ruthless, to be honest with you. You know, he'll be familiar with Ipswich from his time at Norwich and the rivalry there. They want to put goals past this team, but it's just been too easy for Leeds, Mark. You know, there's been not enough resolve from Ipswich. I'm looking at the 2 midfield players for Ipswich, not done enough. You know, Morsey.
Yeah, here's a corner for Leeds, whipped in near post. It's cleared away, but Leeds should pick it up with Dan James, edge of the area. He'll feed it back to Somerville, wide on the right, whips in a delicious ball, but just a little bit too much on it, and it'll roll away. But the idea was right, and it's out for a throw in near side. Well, for those that have made their way up from Suffolk this morning, long old way home, isn't it, tonight?
Just a bit, yeah. You know, and they've got the Leicester City game looming as well on the horizon. Another tough game for them. It's not going to be easy.
No, it's not. You'll hear Leeds at Preston on Boxing Day. You'll hear Ipswich against Leicester, both in the Championship, live and exclusive on the Talksport network. Here's Ampadu now, driving forward, lays it off to Dan James. James now continues to attack, looks to find Pirot, and Tuanzebe did well to get the header away, and it's cleared away in the end. Ipswich played some nice football to work their way out of a really tight spot there, and here's Wes Burns near side, and he knocks it into midfield. Chaplin on the turn, but gives it to Ampadu, and that's where Ipswich has struggled, isn't it? Although Burns has nicked it back off Spence, but then Spence, such an athlete, jumps back in and wins it back, and Strout clears his lines. Rutter, if he's onside, might have a chance here. And the ball just held up, and Tuanzebe did really well, and he will bring it forward again. And here now is Chaplin. Chaplin feeds it wide to Wes Burns. Burns on the right touchline. Can Ipswich score? Leeds have conceded in their last 6 at home here. Morsey tries to work one into the area. It's cleared away, and Luongo happy just to go back to Cameron Burgess. But too many times, Neil, Ipswich in good possession have given the ball away, haven't they? Just over the halfway line with a pass where they haven't taken enough care.
Yeah, I just think the two midfield players for Leeds, Ampadu and Kamara, have been absolutely outstanding.
Well, there in point is another giveaway, and here's James into the edge of the area. He's forced wide on the right. He looks up, Rutter makes a run into the box. James tries to drive the cross, and it's blocked. But that was too easy. One intercepted pass, and Leeds are in on goal, and James was just forced a little bit wide there. 4-0 Leeds lead.
And you can take a chance as a wide play. If you've got pace, you know, you can almost, your game can be centred around 60% attack, 40% defend. You know, you can take them risks because you know you're going to get the service into you.
Oh, well, that ball went out, didn't it, for a corner. Harry Clark might have got away with one there. But again, they kicked the ball away. Look at this, Willie Nonto about to come on. I wonder if they're going to rest maybe Crescencio Somerville. They have got many games over the festive period, some big games as well for Leeds. Well, they're all big games when you're chasing down the top two. But they're getting their festive period off to a brilliant start here at Ellen Road. They lead by 4-0. And I think even the most ardent Ipswich Town fan couldn't argue with this. Leeds have been dominant from first whistle to now.
Well, look, Ipswich have had an absolutely fantastic season. Let's not run away with the idea they have. They've been brilliant this season, but this just, I think, just been a game too far at this moment in time. You know, the last thing you want as well when you're 4-0 down is they're going to bring an Italian international on.
Yeah.
Who's just as quick.
Yeah. Look, you make a great point. Let's make no bones about it. If you'd have offered Ipswich Town this position at the start of the season,
absolutely.
and they could have a chance here for a goal of their own, as Burns has the edge of the area of Ampadu. Leeds looks to have about 15 players on the field at the minute. They're everywhere. But had we have offered Ipswich a 7-point cushion on Christmas Day over third place, they would have taken that without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're still above Leeds. You know, the 7 points above Leeds. I mean, this is going to be a tough one to swallow because as a side trying to impress your ambitions as a promotion hopeful.
Here's Somerville trying to get in behind. Tuanzebe goes down. The referee did say Tuanzebe pulled him down. Now, what's the referee going to deem here? I think it's just going to be a yellow because Somerville was running slightly away.
Yeah.
I thought Somerville
he can't send him off for that. He's running away from goal, to be fair. But again, pace, got the pace on him. You know, they'll have nightmares about the pace of this Leeds front line tonight, Ipswich.
Well, it's Dan James who comes off.
Brilliant tonight
for Leeds.
The little fella's played really well.
Well, it didn't work out for him initially, did it? He went out to loan at Fulham, and he's come back, and he's showing the form why Leeds initially wanted to sign him before he went to Manchester United.
Yeah, definitely. I think under Daniel Farker, he's definitely got the best out of him. Looks like his old self now. And like I say, you know, they're bringing one quickie off and bringing another quickie on. It's unrelenting for Ipswich.
It is. And a free kick here for Somerville. He's 21 yards out from goal. He's way left of the goal. Probably about 5 yards in from the left-hand side of the penalty area. Look, he could have a shot from here. But will it be a shot or will it be a cross, Neil Redfern?
Yeah, I mean, you'd like to think that the keeper would stop it from that distance at that angle, but you know, the confidence that Leeds have got at this moment in time, I can't see why not. I would have thought this will go across the keeper and they'll go and attack it.
Well, Somerville is going to take it. There are 5 in the box. It's whipped towards the far post, headed away by Twanzebe. Falls to Willie Nonto. Just has a touch, gets it to Kamara, and Leeds not going too gung-ho here. They're going to be patient. They've got Ipswich right where they want them, on the back foot here. And like a cat with a mouse, they're just toying with them at the moment, waiting for the opportunity to strike. Leeds have it on halfway. You're live on Talksport 2. Just over an hour gone at Ellen Road. Mark Wilson with Neil Redfern. We'll be down to Kenilworth Road shortly for some team news for our second live national radio commentary. Another naughty foul went in there on Somerville. And Morsey, the captain, might find himself getting a talking to here.
Yeah, it's a little bit late, but I mean, listen, all I would say with Leeds, if you're 4-0 up, and what you don't do is rub the noses in it. You just keep doing the simple things really well, and he's obviously frustrated Morsey, so he's left a bit on Somerville. It's a bit late, 4-0 down, but should have been earlier on in the game, perhaps.
62 on the clock. Leeds rampant. Leeds have already beaten both Leicester and Ipswich Town away from home. Now they are going to collect surely here all 3 points. Leicester still to come this season. Daniel Farker looks on and he's not grinning from ear to ear, but you can tell Neil he's pretty happy with how his afternoon's going.
He's got to be pleased with how they performed today, Leeds. They've been in a really rich vein of form, prior to the last 2 games, but this again is more like the Leeds that he wanted.
Rutter has it down by the goal line. Does well to hold off the attentions of Axel Twanzebe. Keeps it in. Now knocks it to the byline, but Twanzebe, credit to him, puts in a good challenge. But then blasts it at Wes Burns, and it bounces off his back, and it goes out for a throw into Leeds.
Yeah, he's a little bit unfortunate there, Twanzebe. He does ever so well to regain it off Rutter. He's trying to clear the ball up the pitch, and it just ricochets off the back of Wes Burns.
That's some big wins already here this season. Leeds, this is another one to add to the tally. Ball goes back to Strout. There's action on the Ipswich bench down below us. There's a couple of, 3 orange shirts emerging. I can see that Amari Hutchinson is one of those.
I think from Leeds' point of view now, Mark, is that clean sheet's really important. If they can nil Ipswich, not only are they 3 points closer, but the 4 goals closer as well.
Well, their goal difference will go above Ipswich's goal difference.
Well,
so
there you go.
That's another big thing, isn't it? I know the deficit will still be 7 points, but could conceivably be reduced again on Boxing Day. Both games live on the Talksport network. Preston Leeds live at 12:30 on Talksport 2. Ipswich Leicester 7:45. It's the 2 of 8 live commentaries on Boxing Day. We're live at St James's Park, 12:30 on Talksport for Newcastle Nottingham Forest to kick proceedings off. Here now come Ipswich. Clark trying to break away. Here's Morsey now. Morsey goes between 2. Good run from him. Gets it now to Broadhead. Tries to slide in Hurst. It was a good ball, but it was well read by Joe Rodon. And now Gray was brought down, and Broadhead will find himself on the end of a yellow card from the referee.
Yeah, it's a petulant foul because he were away there, Gray. Brilliant from Rodon earlier on. Just stepped in, pinched the ball, read the pass superbly well. The times I've seen Leeds this season, both Joe Rodon and Pascal Strike have been magnificent. And this would be a really good clean sheet for Leeds to keep if they can do it, because they have been free scoring this season, Ipswich.
Well, Kieran McKenna is making his intent clear here, because we're about to see Dominic Ball, Marcus Harness, Caden Jackson and Amari Hutchinson all coming on. They're all stripped and ready to go. Fresh legs needed.
Well, he's got nothing to lose now, he may as well. And what he'll be thinking is get these guys some minutes. They've had a great season so far. They're well in it. They're still second. Got to draw a line under this and then, get these guys some minutes and prepare for the Leicester game.
Every team has an off day. Ipswich have had theirs today. Right, let's see who is coming off then. We'll start with Marcus Harness and Dominic Ball, who are coming on. So Sam Morsey is one of those who's coming off. The old fourth official must hate this. 4 substitutions at once. Working overtime there. George Hurst is coming off. He makes his way off. He's worked hard, Hurst, but he's had no good ball to deal with whatsoever.
No, he hasn't.
Broadhead, another one that's making way on the back of that yellow card. That might not be a bad thing.
I think he's saving some legs here, Mark, as well.
I think that's...
And you would do, to be honest with you.
And the last one to come off for Ipswich Town is going to be Wes Burns. So, Morsey, Hurst and Broadhead join Burns back on the bench as Ball, Jackson, Harness and Hutchinson come on. 23 minutes remaining, plus any added on time. Leeds 4, Ipswich 0. It's 0-0 over on Talksport right now. West Ham against Manchester United 0-0, I understand. Approaching the final quarter of that one as well. You can listen to that live and exclusive over on Talksport right now. Here's Jed Spence, another foul given away this time, and it was the substitute Caden Jackson, I think, just caught Pascal Strauch a little bit late in the eyes of the referee there.
Yeah, the right thing, the referee, perhaps was a foul, didn't get his cards out, which is good.
Here comes Jed Spence down the left. He's looking to get going down the touchline. He tries to brush off the intentions. Oh, great feet. Ball works its way to Rutter. He's brought down, and I think there might be another talking to coming here. Ipswich Town are starting to lose their head a little bit. Chaplin this time it was, who clattered into the back of Rutter. But what about the skill from Jed Spence?
Yeah, he's grown into this game, Jed Spence. He started off a little bit iffy first half. Didn't look like he got his positions right at left back at times, but when he's gone forward, he's looked the part. Been really impressed with Rutter. Everything that's gone into him stuck, brought players into the game. Allows Leeds to get past B. As soon as they get it into him, these runners are forward.
Leeds are more of a threat when he's involved in the game. There's no doubt about that.
Definitely.
Here's Ampadu. Leeds playing keep ball at the moment. Just trying to frustrate and pull Ipswich out of their shape. I think Leeds are going to make some more changes as activity on their bench as well. Here's Spence, left-hand side, midway inside Ipswich territory. Again, just goes back. It's keep the ball for Leeds. They don't need to win the game again. They've won it already. They lead by 4-0, and as much as the fans would love to see a 5th and a 6th, there's no need to take any liberties at the moment.
Well, I think the clean sheet is probably as important as well for Leeds today. If you can nil the opposition who's above you, then sends a statement, but they have been really commanding today, Leeds United.
They have indeed. Still 21 minutes left here on Talksport 2. We'll be getting team news imminently from our second live national commentary game, Luton Newcastle. Here's Spence into the area. He's brought down. Referee will say play on because Somerville got the ball straight from him. Here now is Glenn Kamara. Back to Somerville. Somerville with the shirt sleeves and the gloves on. He got the penalty. His 11th league goal of the season for Leeds. What a signing he has been, Crescencio Somerville. We haven't even, with all of the games coming up, we've not even mentioned the transfer window. It'll be interesting what it looks like for Leeds, because Somerville will have his suitors, I'm sure. Did want out initially at the start of the season, but stayed loyal to Leeds, and that loyalty's been repaid both ways at the moment.
Yeah, just what this passage of play, they must have kept the ball for about 2 minutes so far, Leeds, which is a long time to be in possession of it.
Here's Rutter again. Has it on the half turn, works it wide for Jed Spence now. Spence left hand side of the area. 4 waiting in the middle for a cross. Couple of step overs, lays it to Somerville, lays it back, and the ball hits the bar. Rutter's shot took a deflection and crashes off the crossbar. That was so close to 5.
Brilliant play. Somerville again darting into the box, little layoff to Rutter. Fantastic strike, no backlift on his left foot. I think it just clips the back of a Ipswich Town defender before it hits the bar, goes over the bar. But Leeds are really taking the taking the game to Ipswich.
Yeah, Ipswich just can't get out of their own half at the moment. Here's Somerville. We'll be heading to Kenilworth Road in just a moment. Leeds continue to attack here, though. Somerville skips his way across the 18-yard box, finds Jed Spence, who just asked a little bit too much of Somerville, but he's not going to let Clark out easy, and he's nicked it off him. And Somerville now is into the area, just overran it. And then the referee, despite the theatrics of Dominic Ball, who tried to buy a free kick, it's another corner for Leeds. What a period of play this is.
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own half, Ipswich. They're finding it really difficult. Subs are coming on now for Leeds.
I don't know if they are going to come on now. The referee just signalled that it's time to bring them on. Leeds are making a change. Let's get the team news then with Nigel Adderley. He's at Kenilworth Road for Luton against Newcastle.
Yes, good afternoon, Mark. Obviously no Tom Lockyer for Luton, so Gabriel Oshu replaces the captain in the only change from the side selected for the game against Bournemouth. 2 changes for Newcastle from their win against Fulham. Joe Linton was injured in that game. Lewis Miley came on and scored, and he will start today. And Kieran Trippier is back from suspension. He replaces Tino Livramento. We follow you at 3 o'clock.
Good stuff, Nigel. Looking forward to that one. The changes are being made, and Kamara and Spence are the two that make way. Junior Firpo and Ilya Gruev come on for Leeds. Spence getting a good ovation here as well. Every Leeds player is going to be cheered to the rafters. Strout, an own goal for Leif Davis, a Somerville penalty, and Joe Perreault with the goals for Leeds United, who have still got 17 and a half minutes left here as they look for a fifth. And they're not easing off. They might not be going as direct, Neil, but they're dominating possession, aren't they, at the minute? And they're just passing the ball around and keeping Ipswich out of possession.
Yeah, they have. I mean, they've been absolutely magnificent today, Leeds.
Here's the corner, comes into the far post, headed away by Clark. And there might just be a chance here for Ipswich, but that will be snuffed out by Gray, whose touch is impeccable on that right-hand side. 17 years old, what a player he's going to be. Here now the ball with Gruev on the far side. Gets it back, and it's like someone's built a wall on the halfway line, Neil. Ipswich can't climb over it at the minute.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, I just look at Ipswich, they're trying to keep the shape, they're trying to press, they're trying to do the right things, but Leeds are in so much of a confident move, they just can't get the ball off them.
Here's Somerville. Back to Firpo. We're hearing over on Talksport there has been a goal. West Ham have taken the lead. David Moyes took a lot of heat after that midweek cup defeat at Liverpool. Well, they're in front in the Premier League. West Ham 1, Manchester United 0. I think it was Jared Boyne who got the goal for West Ham. 18 to go there over on Talksport. If you got the app, you can swipe left and right between the two. Here's Somerville again. Left-hand side of the area. Feeds it to Rutter. Gets it back to Somerville. He feeds it now. Gruev has it. 25 yards out. Finds Willie Nonto. The old lasering around Ellen Road here. This has been a tough old afternoon for Ipswich Town. They're still in great position in the Championship, but this one will hurt, and maybe just a reality check, and might just put a little bit of doubt into Ipswich fans. Have they got the quality to see the job out here? They're still in great shape. As Rutter goes past Clark, and Clark had to time that tackle well, or he would have seen a second yellow card.
Well, as it stands at the moment, Leeds have took 6 points off him and scored 8 goals against him. Conceded 3.
Yeah,
the last 2 games.
But Ipswich are still 7 points in front of it.
Yeah.
Here's Firpo. Struggled with the bouncing ball, but then Caden Jackson couldn't control it, and he knocks it out for a throw-in. Kieran McKenna trying to applaud his team and take the small wins. But you made a good point earlier, Neil. He'll learn a lot today about his team and their shortcomings. And maybe, you know, we mentioned January. There's still the opportunity for them to go out and strengthen this squad as well. So exciting times for Ipswich Town and Kieran McKenna, for sure.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's difficult to see, you know, the wood for the trees, and perspective's important.
It is. Here's Firpo. Edge of the area, really limited game time due to injury this season. They would like to keep him fit. Nudges it down the line. Somerville is onside. He's got it by the corner flag. Not really any great rush to put it in. Rutter and Perreault wait in the middle. Ball back to Willie Nonto. Nonto's one that, obviously, that controversy at the start of the year when he tried to force a move out and didn't do so. He's found game time limited, and he's not had the impact that maybe he would have thought, and he's fallen behind the likes of Crescencio, Somerville and Dan James in the Leeds United pecking order.
Yeah, and what these guys have done is they've got themselves in there and they've performed, you know, and Daniel Farker's basically said they're playing well, you've got to try and fight and get your shirt back, but he has found it difficult not to get game time.
If you've been following the PDC World Darts Championship with us on Talksport 2, Luke Humphries is here, big Leeds United fan. He'll be back at Ali Pali post-Christmas. You'll hear all the post-Christmas action live across the Talksport network from the PDC World Darts Championship. Luke Humphries, one of the big favourites to win it. He'll be enjoying his afternoon out at Ellen Road for sure. West Ham 1, Manchester United 0. Here it's Leeds 4, Ipswich 0. Still to come. All the goals as they're going with Adrian Durham on Talksport. And Luton against Newcastle live and exclusive on Talksport 2. Nigel Adley and Perry Groves. Sure to be an emotional afternoon at Luton given the events of the last 7 days, and we wish Tom Lockyer all the best with his continued recovery. Here Leeds are just toying here. I dread to think what the possession stats are in the last 20 minutes, Neil, but Ipswich have barely had a kick.
No, it's almost like they're just denying space and making it hard for Leeds to play through them, but Leeds are happy to just keep the ball. They're 4-0 up. Don't need to chase the fifth. Clean sheet's as important as the next goal, so you know that's what they're doing. They're playing time out.
Yeah, indeed. Leicester at home to Rotherham this afternoon. They'll be looking at this one, knowing they can open up a big cushion at the top should they get 3 points today. Boxing Day going to be a huge day. Things can twist and turn so quickly in this division, we know that for sure. But at 4-0, Leeds have got the job done here and done it emphatically.
Yeah, and they've just got to put this one to bed, Ipswich. You know, I mean, Leeds have just come off the back of a draw and a defeat. You know, so it's the nature of the level. You don't want to get beat 4. That's the big one. But they've showed little glimpses first half where you thought, yeah, you know what I mean. You can see why they've scored goals or they've cut teams open. But it's just not been enough through the 90 minutes for Ipswich.
Well, Mellier's not had a shot to save, has he? He was beaten by that Connor Chaplin blistering half volley. As I think we're about to see Patrick Bamford coming on for Leeds. He's just been summoned back to the dugout to get stripped and ready to go with his bleached blonde hair. Here now is Twanzebe as the rain swirls around. It's far from a cold afternoon here in West Yorkshire. The atmosphere and the performance red hot from Leeds. So Ipswich got a consolation in them. Oh, Gruyev, what a bit of play that was from Firpo. Firpo with a neat flick, and then Gruyev with a back heel inside his own half as Strout was fouled as he went to head the ball clear, lands on his back. But that wasn't showboating, Neil Redfern, that was just outrageous skill.
Yeah, and necessity, because they were putting pressure on the ball, Ipswich, so Leeds had to sort of play one touch if they could, and that's what they did. Nearly worked their way out of a tight situation. Crowd appreciating it.
Yeah, Strauch is up on his feet. He landed flat on his back. It was one of those awkward ones for him. And we're in. There's been a second goal down at the London Stadium, and it's more bad news for Erik ten Hag and Manchester United. West Ham 2, Manchester United 0. So West Ham, well, as I said, they got a lot of stick midweek from the way they went out of the Carabao Cup at the quarter-final stage, but they've picked up 3 points. And here come Leeds again inside their own half. Find Rutter. Rutter's got Somerville. Somerville now down the left. Nonto sprinting into the area far side. Firpo on the overlap. Here's Firpo. It wasn't the best pass to him. Pulls it back. Ladke keeps it out. It was Mohamed Kudus with the second goal for West Ham. 2-0 West Ham lead.
Yeah, again, Rutter involved. Great turn. Good ball into him. Good pass to spot Somerville. Firpo getting on the overlap. Unlucky with his cutback. Yeah. Again, it's too easy for Leeds to get down the sides of Ipswich, though. I mean, that would be a concern for me if I was Kieran McKenna, how easy it has been for Leeds to get in these attacking positions.
Yeah, I would say as well, probably the biggest threat that Leeds possess in this last 10 is if Ipswich do attack them.
Yeah.
I think Leeds will still look to break, but when they've got possession, they're quite happy just to move it around and not offer too much goal threat.
No, I don't think Leeds are one of those sides that are going to play through you. But I think if they can catch in transition, you've got a problem, because they're that quick. They get round the box, 4 or 5 of them really quickly.
Well, they have hit the woodwork twice in this second half. Joe Peru smashed the underside of the crossbar, then Jorginho Rutter's deflected shot smashed the front of the crossbar. More changes incoming for Leeds. Rutter is one of those coming off. Matteo Joseph comes on. More game time for the youngster. And also making way, Joe Perreault will come off and get the last 10 minutes or so off as Patrick Bamford comes on for Leeds. So, another goal for the man signed from Swansea. Can Patrick Bamford open up his goal-scoring account in the latter stages here? I think that would round off a near-perfect day for Leeds if he could.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that, you know, with all these games coming up thick and fast, then these players that are coming on are going to be really important. You know, you're going to have fatigue, you're going to have, you know, injuries, suspensions. They're all going to have to play the part at some point.
Quickly taken free kick, looking to get in behind Joe Rodon, who again is there. Showed his quality this afternoon. Gray slides in and pokes the ball out for a throw in far side. You got the fact that Liam Cooper can't even get in the side at the moment. The club captain, the Scotland international, he's been kept out by the form of Joe Rodon and Pascal Struijk, of course. All works its way near side. Ipswich, can they fashion something late on? It has been a miserable old day for them ever since they went behind inside 8 minutes. 36,758 here. The majority will be going home happy. The Ipswich Town fans are here in good number, but it's going to be a long way home for them. They'll have to get themselves back up for that big test against Leicester on Boxing Day night.
I think, to be fair to the Ipswich fans, they've seen a lot of top performances from their team this season. You know, they'll have the understanding that sometimes you get days like this.
It's only a third defeat of the season,
Absolutely.
Which is remarkable in its own respect. Got the boxing tonight. We've got live darts from Alexandra Palace. All that to come. Live football. We're around the grounds. So much to get stuck into. If you are doing a bit of last minute shopping, then good luck with that. Get the app downloaded. You can listen to us while you're out and about. Keep abreast of all the scores as Leeds have a cheap free kick on halfway, and the referee just points to the near sideline because Brandon Williams is about to come on. And Leif Davis' return to Leeds has not been a good one. There is some applause for him. There's a few ironic jeers. Gave away the penalty and conceded an own goal. The boos are for Brandon Williams because of his Manchester United connections. But not the day Leif Davis would have wanted, Neil.
No. I mean, he was involved in a couple of the goals. I think one of them, the own goal, I don't think he could have done too much about it, to be honest with you. But he got a bit of a chasing from Dan James. There's no two ways about that.
Somerville wins the flick on. Tuanzebe beats Bamford to it. Bamford looks across to Nonton, says, come on, let's go hunting here. Try win this back high up the field. That's exactly what Gruyev is doing, and forces Tuanzebe a slip and out for a throw-in. So Leeds, even though they're 4-0 up, the standards are still high.
Yeah, great energy from Gruyev. Really put the pressure on Tuanzebe, who's had a difficult afternoon, to say the least.
Ball goes back to Struijk on halfway. Davis now is getting a great ovation. He is acknowledging the Leeds fans. It's a bit of a tough one for him. He can't be seen to be cheering the Leeds fans, but he's getting good support here. They are fiercely loyal in Leeds, and they respect that one of their own has moved on. The irony is, if he had been at Leeds now, he'd probably walk into this Leeds team, Leif Davis, as Firpo comes forward again, finds the feet of Joseph, who lays it back. I think Matteo Joseph and Patrick Bamford must have got a job lot on the hair dye, because they've both got the bleach blonde hair.
Yeah, difficult to tell them apart, really.
It is. Here now, Leeds on halfway. We've got 5 minutes remaining here on Talksport 2. We'll be straight to Kenilworth Road, where Faye Carruthers will be waiting with Nigel Adley and Perry Groves. Luton against Newcastle on the way. Live exclusive national radio commentary. Well, we've got the boxing tonight, Neil, and if this was a boxing match, the referee would have stopped it long ago, because Ipswich were punch drunk 52 minutes in when they conceded the 4th goal.
Yeah, I just get the feeling, I mean, it's part of Leeds' play and the DNA of how they look, but they're so good in transition.
What a horror pass that was from Burgess to Twanzebe inside his own area. He put Twanzebe really in a hole there. Twanzebe did really well, but Harry Clark has just gone down here. I think he was caught by Joseph. Not a bad foul, but he caught him nevertheless, and he's just felt that one.
Yeah, I was just going back there. You know, Leeds have done this to a few sides where they've waited for him and they've got that pace in attack and they've picked him off and scored. You know, and it's been a real demolition of Ipswich this afternoon.
Well, they went to Leicester, didn't they, and give them a chasing early on, and eventually got the win there at the King Power. As now Somerville tries to go forward, Luongo wins it back. Is there a chance for a break here? There could be. Harness is 30 yards out from goal, but opted not to go out wide on the left. Comes back instead to Luongo. He'll get it away now to Dominic Ball, and Ipswich will come down this near side, and here is the substitute Amari Hutchinson. Level with the edge of the area, lays it back. Are they going to throw one into the box? And chance there are. Maybe get a late consolation goal that might not mean a lot today, but down the line it could have a big impact on what happens. Who knows?
Yeah, well, it might get down a goal difference. You don't know. I mean, if Leeds can keep this momentum going, but they'll want to right this performance, Ipswich, in the next game against Leicester. No two ways about it.
They will. And it's another big chance here. Then is Chaplin into the edge of the area, but Leeds are just showing their desire, and I think Daniel Farke will be delighted with the way that his team have seen out this last half an hour. They've not taken their foot off the gas. They might not have attacked with the same intent, but they've looked after the ball, they've got back, they've chased back and won all their tackles.
Yeah, unbelievable work ethic. I think they've been brilliant, Mark, to be honest with you. You know, they've really worked for one another. They've kept a great shape, and in transition they're just sensational. You know, as soon as they break, they've got so much pace to get up the pitch and get round the opposition's box. And it's just been far too much for Ipswich to cope with today.
It has. 4-0, the damage done. Really, the penalty on half-time that Somerville won and then dispatched himself was the turning point. 3-0 was a mountain to climb, and Ipswich, if they could get on the bus and go home now, would do so. 88 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Mark Wilson with the former Leeds boss Neil Redfern. Leeds 4, Ipswich 0. West Ham 2, Manchester United 0 over on Talksport right now. All the fallout of that one to come as Bamford chases a throwing down to the byline. He can't keep it in, and he just punches the ball away in frustration.
Yeah, it's been a tough season, hasn't it, for Patrick Bamford? Obviously injuries and obviously the form of Rutter as well. You know, he's kept Bamford out, which is no mean feat. I mean, the guy scored a lot of goals, particularly at this level.
Yeah, had that horrible penalty missed, didn't he, at Stoke when Leeds were beaten earlier in the season.
Yeah.
That rather typified his year up. He's had a lot of time out injured. He's not scored this season. Ipswich trying to work it forward. Now they've half a chance. Then they get it to Hutchinson. Hutchinson down the right-hand side. Harness is going with him. Hutchinson will cut back in now. Looks for the give-and-go edge of the box. He's going to win it back, but then a crunching tackle from Ampadu comes in, but they'll get the ball back now. Here is Marcus Harness. Little step over up against Firpo. Puts in a lovely-looking ball. Leeds don't clear it initially. Harness tries to win the header, edge of the area. Here now is Clark into the area. Drives forward, goes down theatrically. And the referee will say, is that going to be a... Well, he blew the whistle. I thought a minute he was going to have a word with Clark for a potential dive, but he waves it away, and all eyes now down on the fourth official as to how long will be added on. We've got around about 30 seconds of the 90 remaining here on Talksport 2.
Yeah, great afternoon for Leeds. You know, they'll take great strength from this because they're a good side, Ipswich. You know, they're having a great season. They've got a good manager. They've got good players. Just found today a little bit tough for them, but I'm pretty sure this Ipswich side will bounce back.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Ball, Strout, horrible back pass back to Meslier. He did well, had to just volley it away. And you won't thank Strout. We've got 5 added on minutes here, and then we'll be down to Kenilworth Road, where Luton against Newcastle looks to be an absolute cracker this afternoon. Another cross goes into the Leeds area, and again, it's cleared away. Ampadu is there, sweeping up, but he can't find a pass out. But the ball will break to Matteo Joseph, who does well. Now the break could be on for Leeds. Nonto has it centre circle. He's chopped down. And that will be a free kick and a yellow card for Dominic Ball.
Yeah, Again, pace. Nonto gets it on the half turn. And they always find themselves running back towards their own goal against this Leeds side, Ipswich. It's been a real theme of this afternoon. Nonto's too quick with his short, strong, quick strides, and he runs away from his opponent, drags him down. It is a yellow card. Card count must be high today.
Yeah, 4 for the visitors. Clark, Twanzebe, Broadhead and Ball. Dan James in the book earlier on for Leeds.
Yeah.
5 in total. Not been a nasty game in any stretch, but there have been a few moments.
Yeah, I just think sometimes as well, that's just that desire to try and get back that overspills for Ipswich. They've just had too much pace from Leeds.
Yeah.
And it's forced them yellow cards.
Under the second of a minimum 5 added on, and Leeds just passing around. A few fans are making the way to the exit. It isn't the greatest ground to get away from Ellen Road, and if you have got a bit of shopping to do, then you might be best getting a jump on the crowd here, because there's 36,000 to make their way out of Ellen Road. Free kick given away by Nonto. So Leeds, as we keep mentioning, they go to Preston on Boxing Day, 12:30 start. Talksport 2, live and exclusive. One of 8 commentaries. Another of the 8 is Ipswich Leicester, 7:45. Talksport 2, Boxing Day night. Leeds trying to win it high up the field with Ampadu. Nonto tries to win it back. Ball works wide, Ipswich left-hand side. Can they get an effort on target? They've offered very little. Oh, now they've given it away. Giving it away now to Joseph, who finds Nonto, but he couldn't get it back to Joseph, and the potential of a break is short-lived. There's no real belief in the Ipswich side that they can get a goal in. Also, they're not trying to score, Neil, but they're not risking it. They'd rather lose 4-0 than 5, wouldn't they?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think Leeds are just playing within themselves a little bit as well. The substitutions have just taken the heat out of it. But it's been really convincing as a performance from Leeds, you know, and that they're going to take great heart from this, I would have thought, for the rest of the season. It's one for Ipswich to lick the wounds and try and make a comeback in the Leicester game, which is another massive game for them.
It is. Bumpy old period for them. Draw with Norwich in the East Anglian derby last week, and then they've been thumped here today. But if they can get something out of that Leicester game, they'll still be in a fantastic position. As Leeds just playing keep ball inside their own half, and Ipswich happy to let them have it. 3 of the 5 have passed now in terms of additional time. Pascal Strouk's header on 8 minutes, close range after Ladke kept out Joe Perreault's header, gave Leeds a lead that they've never looked like surrendering here. Not for 1 second have they looked from that point on anything but the winners here this afternoon. It has been an utterly dominant performance. The question now for Leeds is, can they build on this? Rodon's just given the ball away, but on halfway, Ipswich opt to go backwards and just keep the ball rather than put it at risk and go forwards. They might do now as they give it to Twanzebe, who's had a tough old afternoon. The one change that Kieran McKenna made here. There'll be a big roar in round about 60 seconds time as Leeds fans realise that football before Christmas is done here, that their team will be sending them into Christmas very, very happy indeed. And now one last late free kick for Ipswich. Bit of messing about round the free kick position, and again they'll go backwards, Ipswich. They've taken a beating here. Whether they'll learn from it and bounce back bigger and stronger, time will tell us over the next few days and weeks. But Kieran McKenna will have learnt plenty today. This is a team, don't forget, that were in League One last season, taking on a team that were in the Premier League, and at times that 2-division gulf has looked clear for all to see. Referee has a look at his watch. Ipswich have it, but again, no intent to attack. They're going to get on the bus home with their pride dented, but their promotion hopes still firmly alive, and that is it. Daniel Farke will go to shake hands with Kieran McKenna. knowing that his team today have put down the kind of performance that will see them heavily involved in the promotion race at the end of the season. Pascal Straat, the Leeds captain, got Leeds off and running with a close range header. Then when Crescencio Somerville fired a cross into the 6-yard box, Leif Davis unfortunately turned into his own net. And at 2-0, Ipswich task was a tough one. But it got worse just before the break. Another counter-attack from Leeds. James Fred Somerville was brought down by Davis. And Somerville sent Haladki the wrong way. And Leeds were 3 up at the break. Perrault hit the underside of the crossbar moments into the second half, but he did get his goal and Leeds' fourth 7 minutes into the second half. Another break from Leeds. Perrault, emphatic finish from 12 yards out. There was another chance that hit the woodwork when Rutter's shot was deflected over. At the other end, there was very, very little. It'll be a long way home for Ipswich, but there needs to be a bit of perception about where they are at the moment. They're still 7 points clear of third place and in a fantastic position to return to the Premier League. But they will go into Christmas knowing that Leeds United are a danger to all and sundry. Leeds were emphatic today. They've been dominant from start to finish. And it'll be Leeds fans dreaming of promotion as they took into their Christmas dinner ahead of a Boxing Day trip to Preston. Emphatic win in front of an ecstatic crowd. It finishes here at Ellen Road. Leeds United 4, Ipswich 0.
Wonderful stuff. Thank you very much, Mark Wilson. Neil, it was a real complete performance, it felt, from Leeds, but it doesn't feel as if Ipswich really turned up. And it's only the second time this season they've not scored away from home. That was in the West Brom defeat. But the second time they've conceded 4 goals to Leeds. Kieran McKenna's going to be absolutely fuming.
Yeah, I would have thought so. It was just the nature of it as well, to be fair, Faye. I think that it was too easy for Leeds to get down the sides of in wide areas. Obviously, we know they've got pace there. But they got in and around Ipswich's penalty area really easily. And the goals were good from Leeds' point of view, but when they do review the game back, Ipswich, in the next few days, they'll really find some things to work on in training, Kieran McKenna. But, to this point, they've been brilliant, Ipswich, and he's got to take a lot of credit for that, Kieran McKenna. But at this level, in the Championship, you're always going to get a day like this, and it's not what happens this day, it's how you recover and how you come back. So it'd be a big test for Ipswich.
Yeah, it certainly will for Leeds, though. I mean, we talked about momentum and closing the gap on second place to 7 points. Can Daniel Farke use this as a springboard, like we discussed?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I mean, look, if you're putting 4 past the team above you and you're third in the league, then you're doing things right. And I think that he'll reinforce them messages. They've got a real trait about them, Leeds. They've got pace in wide areas. They've got the pivoting router when it goes into him, it sticks. They've got the quality in midfield to play the passes. So they've got a real way of playing, and I think that they won't stray too far away from that in the games coming up. If they can keep that back four intact, who've done really well today to keep a clean sheet, then they've got to be up there.
In terms of Ipswich, how does Kieran McKenna pick his players up for what is going to be a huge game at Leicester on Boxing Day?
Yeah, I mean, look, these games come thick and fast, and if they'd have won today, they've still got to go to Leicester and get something. That'll never change, and I think that he's a level-headed enough guy. As a young coach, he's shown real qualities, I think, in having this Ipswich side up near the top of the league. So he'll stand them back up again, and I think they'll go to Leicester and put on a good display, because this today will have hurt them.
It certainly would have done. Neil, go get yourself warm. Thank you very much. Have a lovely Christmas.
You too.
Take care, Neil Redfern there. Don't forget, both of these teams' next games are live on the Talksport network on Boxing Day. Leeds in action away at Preston at 12:30 on Talksport 2, and that's followed by Leicester versus Ipswich at 7:30pm, also on Talksport 2. It's a bit of a sandwich, actually, because Talksport is your home of the EFL, and in between those two matches, you can also hear Birmingham against Stoke on Talksport 2 at 5:15. Plus, we'll also have all 10 Premier League fixtures over the Christmas period on Talksport, Talksport 2, and the Talksport app. You just need to download the app and choose your game for which commentary you would like to listen to.